Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome. It is a bright, beautiful Sunday morning, or I don't know, maybe you're in a different time zone. I'm not sure. But hey, we're excited to be here. Welcome to the first of what is going to be 14 hours, I think, of phenomenal D&D content here on the RockPunch ATL Twitch channel as part of D4's segment of the Extra Life stream. We're very excited to be here. Before we get started, we're just going to go around and do some quick introductions. My name is Josh. I will be the DM and playing the role of whatever NPCs or monsters or beasts that this fine crew of lovely folks runs into. So I'm very excited about that. And let's go clockwise around the screen. Let's hop over with Eugenio.
Hey everybody. Hi everybody. I'm Eugenio. You might recognize me as DMJazzyHands. Very excited to be here this morning. All of the sci-fi for me today. This morning I am playing Xenogoras, a Nautilid gadgeteer who used to be a galactic interpreter until his fun-loving, I guess, AI companion Dina decided to mistranslate something for him because she thought it'd be funny. Then he got fired.
Lovely. And Ellie?
Hi, I am Ellie. I am playing Tilda, the amoeboid rogue. She has a love for science and steals a lot of things to figure out how they work.
Phenomenal. And let's drop down to Jay.
Hey, I am Tallsquall and excited to be here. I am playing Monbam, who is a Avon Ra exile who has eschewed the ways of the light to embrace the void as a cleric.
And let's round out this party with MeldicBlue.
Hi, I'm MeldicBlue, and I am going to be playing Harmony. She is a Vect, which is a kind of a robot who's gained sentience and life, and she is a druid of configuration. So Soft Bean meets Transformers.
Yes, it's going to be so fun. We are excited to get into this. I've got a couple of very quick housekeeping things. First, if you didn't realize this is a charity stream, we're raising money for ExtraLife. There is a link that you can find in chat, and it's all over social media if you would like to donate. And your donations today can actually impact the game. We have donation incentives starting as low as $10 and going all the way up to $500 for this game. If you wanted to donate $500, you could give every player a one-time use orbital death cannon. Boom. Just it's some ridiculous amount of damage. It's like 20d6 damage, just laser to the planet. But for small amounts, you can donate $10 to give someone a reroll, $15 to give someone a crit, $20 to add one Thwirrel to this adventure, which, by the way, is called Thwirrel Hunt. I'll explain what a Thwirrel is in a moment. You can give $25 for the whole table to get a reroll. That includes me. I am also at the table. $30, we get an energy surge, and we actually already have one of those. So once we get into the game, I'll have someone roll on my random table for an energy surge. Also, I want to mention that anyone who donates $30 or more during this game will receive a PDF copy of Dark Matter. So if you are interested in playing a sci-fi D&D game like this, Dark Matter is this phenomenal supplement that you'll get to see today. And if you are interested, that's one easy way to pick it up. $50 gives the whole table a crit. That includes me as well. For $75, you could revive a character. If one of my big bad bosses turns out to be a little bit too strong, you can swing the tides of fate. For $100, every player gets a powerful item of some type. I've got a table for that, and they can roll and see what magic item they might get. For $150, we'll get a gravity shift. Everything will flip. It's almost as if we're in space. And for $200, you can heal the whole party. And for $250, there will be a stampede of Thwirrels. It's just going to be pure chaos, and that's exciting. And we do have some milestones, one of which we've already reached. So somewhere in the near future, a Thwirrel bear will be summoned. We'll have some fun with that. This adventure, if you haven't figured it out yet, is and so a little bit of meta knowledge before we hop in. A thwirrel is a small, it's technically a tiny rodent. It is purple with 4 ears, 4 eyes, and likes to eat anything electric or technological. So
No, thank
you
you.
can
How many
imagine
mouths?
just one mouth.
That's
It
good. That
looks
would be
like
too
a
many mouths
squirrel.
otherwise.
Maybe we'll add a second, a surprise mouth just for fun. So you can imagine how this would be an issue. You can imagine how this would be an issue if you were in a spaceship that runs on technology and is afloat in the middle of the nothingness. And there was just a picture on screen a moment ago. Thank you for that. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And we do just want to thank, as we're getting going, that we've raised so far over $3,035, which is huge. All that money goes directly to children's hospitals. So that being said, let's begin. So our adventure today, we find ourselves here on a rather large spaceship, a heavy cruiser called the Rodair. And for the last 2 weeks, you have, as a crew, been tasked this mission, bringing a science and research team to this uninhabited planet, kind of on the outer edge of known space. And as you've been here, you've seen these kind of beautiful teal fungal floors on this planet with trees shaped almost like cactuses, with a very faintly kind of purple hue. But the leaves are interesting. They're almost like a matte black. Actually, the planet looks a little bit like this one right here from the atmosphere, which is a bit striking as you get through the atmosphere and are no longer seeing these shades of purple and gold, and instead find yourself in this sea of bluish green. It was very scenic, honestly. Not unlike, the forests in Brazil here on Earth, except, of course, that the colors are just all wrong. As you've been here for some time, you've seen all kinds of wildlife, and the science team has gone about their research, taking notes, soil samples, all the kinds of things that people with science degrees know how to do, and I don't. That's behind us, though. Today is the day that you are leaving this planet, returning the science team to the station that they are based off of. And so as you have left this beautiful planet, you buckle into these large kind of swiveling chairs with these massive pads of ballistic gel surrounding you, because unfortunately things like inertia have terrible effects on biological life forms. Harmony might be okay, and actually Tilden might be okay too, just based on your physiology. So as you are buckled into these seats, you can feel the force of the atmosphere against the ship. You look back and bid farewell to this planet that, well, it's been a short time. It's always nice to actually have your feet on solid ground. These days in the verse, a lot of time is spent in the float, sailing from planet to planet, or perhaps on a space station somewhere. But now you have free reign of the ship, having gotten back into space. What might you, as individuals or as a group be doing on this ship right now? Where do we pick up?
I will be in my room digging through the stuff I took from the planet.
Absolutely. You know, there's a lot of really cool things. I know that you have a propensity to look for things that have a more technological nature. This planet is decidedly not very technologically populated. What other types of things might you have looked to take?
Any particularly unusual plant life?
Yeah. Well, I think those kind of teal fungi that floored the surface of this planet would be very fascinating to you. And you've noticed, even since taking it and getting a sample, that it has basically doubled in size. This is a phenomenal thing that seems to be thriving, even in the lack of natural sunlight and the slightly different but relatively similar, chemical composition of the soil and air that is no longer with now that you have it up in space with you. But this is an interesting relic, something that you're not sure what to make of it, but it seems very fascinating.
Ooh, I am going to just put that on my table and give it plenty of space.
Awesome. And a quick note, as you are making donations, if there is an opportunity to choose who you want something to go to, be sure to indicate that in a note or comment section. I forgot to mention that earlier. What about the rest of us? Where would we find ourselves? What are we doing?
I think I'm back in my quarters, and this is sort of something I do between all of our missions together, is practicing languages myself, because the less I can rely on Dina in the future, the better, and maybe one day I'll get that job back. So just like you can hear coming from my quarters, just like the same 2 or 3 phrases in about 4 different languages over and over and over. And they're, those type of like very touristy phrases, like, where is the bathroom? Donde está el baño? Like, just over and over and over.
Love it.
Harmony will be making the rounds, her usual rounds of the ship, going around talking to the different ship systems to see if it's woken up yet.
Phenomenal. Yeah, Jay?
As far as Momban goes, I don't know if there was any civilization at some point on this planet, and even if there wasn't, any signs of the void or having infiltrated or sort of become a part of any of this animals or plants here. If this planet that we had gone to was void touched in any way, so that he could in any way, and he would have taken some sort of samples, etc. from. And he would have taken some sort of samples, etc.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I don't think there would be any evidence that the void has touched this planet, but I think there is certainly a lot for you to ponder. Coming to a planet that is uncivilized, I think sometimes is as much of a interesting religious experience as seeing a planet that has been touched by a deity or not. And so in this case, you might have pondered on what things look like without the influence of a god. What does a completely untouched planet look like?
And to Monban, it looked like it was ripe for the picking, so he certainly left behind a piece of sort of void energy, a piece, sort of a religious symbol that had been impregnated with the void energy, and carefully placed it within whatever dark recess there might have been, and left it to bloom.
Excellent. I love that. So, Harmony, as you are making the rounds of the ship, chatting with each system. You know, you've got your friends, right? Navigation is pretty chipper. You know that navigation tends to like in its own like computer speak, be kind of funny. Tell these jokes about going off course, and it's like the same 3 jokes because it doesn't have the same sentience to like come up with its own humor, but it repeats jokes that it's heard before. And you swing by down towards like the mess hall where one of the vending machines where you can pick up snacks and drinks and that type of thing is complaining about how after being on the surface of a planet so long, being in the float just feels weird because they're not used to not being firmly affixed to the ground anymore. And you're having these conversations, things with these other systems that you know and love. There's a beautiful friendship there. As you are doing that, would you be willing to roll a D8 for me so that we can see what happens with that energy surge that was redeemed in chat? And we will go ahead and see what happens.
I rolled a 1.
A 1. Amazing. Excellent. So, as you are making your rounds, I think perhaps you have just passed by the med bay and you can hear one of the medical drones in there kind of in its robot speak, muttering to itself about having to patch up all these scrapes and skin knees that took place on the surface of the planet. You notice that the power suddenly goes out here in this hallway that you are walking through. Now, this is kind of disturbing. Power doesn't typically go out on the ship as you're walking around. And so you're, of course, immediately alarmed by this. There's a moment and the backup generators kick in, and so you've got a number of those like emergency lights like you would see in an airplane kind of lining the hallway, but this is very unusual. And everyone else, while you are not necessarily in this specific spot where Harmony is, you hear almost this sound of like a surge, like a reactor is kind of whirring up, and then a minor impact, kind of almost like that of like a breaker being flipped. Even though you don't see the power go out, you would notice this. What do you do?
She's going to attempt to talk to the ship to try and localize where that surge occurred.
Sure. Yeah, it takes a moment as the ship is running diagnostics, as this is very sudden. There's a couple of moments before you get a response. There's something up with the transference of power from the reactor room here in the ship to the med bay. Somewhere between the two, there's been a break in connection.
Are comms operational?
They are back up and running. It was just a momentary outage there.
Okay. She's going to send a comms open channel message to her cohorts on the ship.
Absolutely. So the rest of you will hear as you get this message. What would your message say, Harmony?
Attention. Rhodey has informed me that there is a power surge and issue occurring between the medbay and the reactor. As I am near the medbay, I will begin investigating there.
All right. As everyone, you get this message. This is, I mean, in one sense, you would hear these kind of ship-wide communications all the time, but this is a bit unusual. What do you do?
Do we have the ability to message back?
Sure.
Okay. I'm just going to message back and say, "Do you need a hand?"
That would be much appreciated.
I'm gonna head on over.
Yeah, just for something else to do, I think I'll also walk down, the corridors and head for Medbay, where Harmony is just "Toire wa doko desu ka? Donde está el baño? Où est la toilette?"
Perfect. Anything from Monban?
He's in such a good mood right now. He's very pleased with himself. He would probably just be a bit curious as to what's going on, and sort of will skulk with this sort of inner, Momban is, instead of the sort of noble, sort of eagle-like Avenra, he is much sort of more vulture-looking, almost like a bird that's been dipped in an oil slick type idea. Very sort of Skeksis from the Dark Crystal, and he has sort of probably more terrifying than his normal scowl. He has this little pleased inner smile as he sort of oozes his way down the corridor toward the med bay, and see what's going on.
Awesome. As you do this, you would, of course, all each take a moment, as we've just gotten a redemption for everyone to get a powerful item. You will each take a moment to grab your jetpacks, because everyone should have a jetpack. We're in space. The way a jetpack works is you get 1 minute of flight time per 24 hours. So you have a minute, 10 rounds of combat of flight time available to you. So everyone just throw your jetpack on, and you'll meet up in the hallway outside of Medbay, where Harmony is starting to look into this. What would you be doing to try and kind of locate the source of this power outage?
Where does the power? Where's the connecting point for the power flowing into Medbay?
Sure. You would be relatively familiar, and between that and having access to the schematics of a ship, you would be able to know that there's a conduit on the interior of this wall that runs through this hallway here, and somewhere inside this wall, that conduit runs, and then it will kind of drop down a level and then make its way down to the reactor. So it's somewhere kind of out of sight, out of mind, but in that general vicinity.
Okay, but the paneling that I would need to open up to get to it would be in the hallway, not inside the medbay itself?
It would be, yes.
Okay. Then she would start removing paneling.
Phenomenal. You'll start pulling off a couple pieces of paneling here and there. Of note, while this is metal paneling, there is a thin layer of padding on it in case, for some reason, there should be a sudden surge of gravity or a sudden lack of gravity. This ship is accident-proof, and so there's a little bit of padding there in case it has to navigate quickly or do something, so that if you get flung against a wall, it is slightly less damaging. So you'll pull off a couple of pieces of wall paneling. And as you look in here and you kind of peer down along the conduit, give me a perception check.
That's a natural 20.
Amazing.
Plus, so a 27.
A 27. All right. Everyone will arrive at this moment as you are looking, and you spot almost immediately. You can see about 10 feet from where you're currently looking into the wall. There appears to be, where the conduit goes, a spot where it has almost been broken open, and you can see that there are loose wires sticking out. Something has gone in and it's like it doesn't look like it's been. Who would eat wires?
So it's not a clean cut. It's
But it's very frayed. It looks like bite marks, strangely enough. And so as you see your companions here come and join you, you can point that out. And I would say, additionally, with the nature of that particularly high roll, you would also hear, kind of on the opposite side of that wall, there appears to be some kind of scratching or scraping sound.
Oh no.
What's going on?
We appear to have some sort of stowaway. The conduit here, it has been severed. And there's something in the wall over there. I believe these two things are connected in some fashion.
Is there a gap where I could reasonably get inside the wall?
Yes, there absolutely is. The fun thing about the amoeboid form is you can grow and shift and stretch and compress yourself, and so you could absolutely kind of squeeze in and get in there and look if you would like.
Yes, I would like to.
Phenomenal.
As she starts to do that, Monban is, well, first thing, how close are we to Med Bay?
You're probably, I would say, 20 to 25 feet from the actual entrance to the room, which appears to be closed right now.
But does this share a wall? Like if like where we are, would Med Bay, if you went all the way through this wall, would you be in Med Bay?
No, actually, you would not. On the opposite side of this wall, if you remember the schematics of the ship correctly, you think there's like a cargo bay on the other side.
Okay. And she's heading towards Cargo Bay, not towards Med Bay, right? Monban
Yes.
Okay. Yes. You'd want to go that way, not toward Med Bay.
Okay.
All right. As you are poking around in there, is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
So Harmony said that there was scratching noise coming from, so I'm just gonna slink in and try and look in the general direction of where the scratching noise is coming from.
Sure. As you follow along that way, can you give me a perception check?
Yes, absolutely. Oh, I'm decent at that. Okay. Nope. 12.
So you get this sensation as you head over in this direction. You do notice that a bit of the paneling on the opposite side. So, there's the open paneling where you've entered, there's the conduit, and then on the opposite side of this wall cavity, you notice that wall paneling is a little bit loose. And as you go and kind of investigate this, you feel like it's almost like this tingle wherever the base of your skull would be in an amoeboid form. It's almost like this tingle. You know that there is something there, but you cannot see it.
Could I do a more thorough actual investigation of the section?
Sure, you could absolutely do that. As this is going on, those of you who are in the hallway, could I get y'all to give me a perception check?
Teen from Xenogoras, who has not gone into any of the rooms because in his experimental frame suit, it's a bit difficult to get through doorways, and he doesn't like to unless he has to.
Understood. It's like a multiple ton suit. It's hefty.
Just,
My modifier's +7, but that was a natural 1.
Yeah.
I roll in extremes.
Oof.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right.
I muted. Monban rolls a 13.
Okay. Sure. And perhaps Monban, as you're looking around, trying to assess what is going on here in this ship, I think you would become aware of this, as well as Xenogoras, you would become aware of this. You... At first, it's just the sound of almost this like chittering. But then you realize that it's a much deeper tone than you would have expected. And somewhat shockingly, you see the door in Medbay open, and you see what appears to be, well, for lack of a better word, it seems to be like half squirrel, half bear. And as it pokes out, you can see this kind of purplish fur. It has 4 ears and 4 eyes, but very squirrel-like features. And the claws or paws, I guess, resemble more that of a squirrel than that of a bear. As you are spotting this, though, Tilda, you have been making an investigation check, trying to figure out what is going on the interior of this wall. What was that roll? Tilda, what did you get on that investigation?
Sorry, that is I forgot to do the math on it. 27.
Phenomenal. Okay, yes. You can see very clearly that there are scratch marks on the edges of this wall plating right there. Similarly, you notice that it seems like these bite marks on the conduit and on the wire inside, you're not even sure necessarily how you know this, but it seems like whatever has done this is not a purely biological life form. It seems almost as if it's like a scratching of metal against metal. And as this happens, you might hear a bit of a surprised or at least unsettled sound from out in the hallway, where your compatriots have just noticed a rather large half squirrel, half bear creature. Could you make a wisdom saving throw for me, everybody?
Oh,
Everybody. Oh no. Oh no. 15.
Save.
Wisdom saving throw, yes.
19.
25.
Also a 15.
Okay, so you all, as those of you who are in the hall look at this Thwirrel bear, you feel for a moment that it something surrounding its physical appearance almost like appears to shimmer for a second, but nothing happens. It stays there. And Tilde, as you haven't actually seen it yet, you might hear the sound of it shifting, but also additionally, with that, I'm going to say that you notice a little bit farther up in the conduit, past where you currently are, you suddenly become very aware that there is a presence inside this wall. It is, it's weird. It looks like a small mechanical creature, like a drone perhaps, or an automaton that someone has created. But it is somewhat, it's kind of in the shape of a rodent. It's a little bit larger than a rodent, but it has these twitching metallic ears, and these eyes that are like ocular lenses kind of adjusting as it looks at you. And as you stare at it for a moment, you have a similar sensation that it almost shimmers for a second, but nothing actually happens. At this moment, could everyone roll initiative for me?
No!
As you have 2. You have 2 of our donation milestone creatures
Oh,
have just appeared.
Oh
Okay.
no.
That is a 19.
Okay, phenomenal.
22.
Yeah.
Mon
Okay.
12.
Wait, Brad gets double-digit initiatives, huh? Well, Xenagor's got a 7, so.
Okay.
You go, Xenagor.
All right, and that was you said a 19 from you, Tilde.
Yes.
Alrighty. And I am going to put our initiative in our chat just so we have it available for everyone to look at. So that way, if I forget, y'all can call me on it. And I need to get my initiative really quickly. Okay. Okay, as this is happening, you will each have a round to do something in preparation as you'd like. As while you've met these creatures, or each of you are only really aware of one of the 2 creatures, you have a moment to do something to prepare if you would like before combat starts.
I want to try and steal it.
I will note that technically this is a medium-sized creature. that
Oh,
you're
I
looking
know,
at.
but I want to try and take it.
Okay, delightful. Oh, actually, I lied. It is a large creature.
Still good
So-
try.
It is somehow a large creature has squeezed into this small cavity in the wall.
Same.
Fair. You know what? Fair. A fair point. A fair point. And that is going to.
I
yeah.
guess the technical. I'm going to try and grapple it because I'm fascinated and want to pull it apart.
Phenomenal. We can absolutely do that. All right. Anything for those of us in the hall?
Monban pulls out sort of off of his back. Our party would be familiar with it, but it is what was once a sun staff of the Avid Ra, but it has been corrupted and is now a void staff that he pulls out, that he holds in both of his hands, and points at this disturbing purple creature who has emerged from Medbay. And he seems, his eyes dart between the creature and Medbay as though concerned in some way.
Okay.
Those of us in the hall are seeing which one? The
There
the
is-
Thwirrel bear, right?
Yes, it is this half Thwirrel, half
Yeah.
bear creature that is
And-
stepping out the door from the medbay right now.
And that one is organic, yeah?
Yes, that is organic.
Never mind.
Okay. Anything from you, Harmony, before we get started?
Yeah, she is. She is going to shift into construct form into her juggernaut configuration.
Okay, what does this new form look like as your body and the mechanical pieces of it begin to shift and twist and alter and rotate as your physical appearance changes? What do you now appear like?
Or actually, no, she's shifting into turret configuration. My
Okay.
apologies.
Okay.
So she kind of starts to bend down, and like panels pop open from her hips as like these big this big, like, basically a mount, not like riding mount, but like thing you put thing on mount, comes out of her hips, and she settles down, and her neck elongates, and so she now looks like a turret, with her face and her mouth kind of expands to make the blast cannon photon turret.
I love that. There's this
Yeah.
kind of whirring and as you watch as Harmony, this friend of yours, suddenly transforms into just a massive gun, pretty much, with little tripod mount and everything. This is like, and you actually know, you've seen this before. This is surprisingly common, but also super cool.
Once her form finishes shifting, there's there's like a beat, like a breath, and then the the harmony on the side of her chassis, the word harm lights up.
Mm. And with that, we are at the top of initiative. And Harmony, you are going first. What would you like to do?
Poor bear.
I'm gonna attack the bear with my photon turret.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit.
All right. Now, I will admit to a little bit of confusion with how this works, because this is one of the special subclasses to dark matter and not the classic 5e.
Yep.
As I understand my druid spells, because we use my spell attack bonus to hit, correct?
Yes, that sounds
Which would be
right.
wisdom, because I'm a druid.
Yep.
Okay, so rolling a d20 and adding my wisdom, or my spell attack bonus?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. That would be a 17, yes.
That is certainly going to hit.
Okie dokie. And I do 2d10s of radiant damage.
Excellent.
Four.
Ooh.
Ouch.
That's rough. So you do have rerolls and automatic crits that you could use. I don't know if you want to reroll weapon damage, but if you do happen to get like a very poor weapon damage and you want something to hit a little bit better, I would let you use that there if you chose to. Your call. No pressure, but just gonna throw that out there. You can
I will
reroll
happily
anything.
use that here, because
Go for it.
I'm bad about not using the bonus gifts that donations have given me.
Go for it. Go ahead and reroll that damage and see.
10.
If you can... Yeah. All right. Heck yeah. That's much better. Okay. Amazing. And as this blast of radiant energy emerges from the now gun formerly face of Harmony, it strikes this large creature, kind of hitting it in the shoulder, and you hear this. Rah! As it kind of is impacted and then shifts forward again, bringing us to Tilde. You had said that you were going to try to grapple the creature in the wall, yes?
Yes.
Could you give me your choice between an athletics or an acrobatics check to make that grapple?
We're gonna call that acrobatics.
Okay.
That is 19.
19. You have successfully grabbed this creature. Now, I will note that it is a size larger than you, which is, if I recall correctly, you can grapple a creature that is one size larger than you.
Mm-hmm.
But it is kind of, in this case, especially as you are expanding your amoeboid form to wrap around it, in some ways it almost looks like you are like a blanket on its back. It's just kind of hugging it very, very gently, but you are clung to it. And what would you like to do now that it is your turn in combat, having resolved that?
I would like to, is it kind of, since it is a mech form and I'm familiar with that, would it be apparent to me where something like a control panel would be on it, or where like a reasonable way to get into the inner circuitry?
Give me a technology check,
Okay.
which is intelligence based.
Okay. Thank goodness. 21.
As you look around, there's not like an external control panel. It's got to be something on the interior. But you think, based on your knowledge of constructs, just as a working knowledge, you think you know how to get into it. So I would say that it would take an attack action to like kind of open up to the interior of this creature, but you could do that.
That's what I want to do. I want to stab it with my dagger so I can pry open the metal.
Phenomenal. Give me that attack roll then.
Okay. That is going to be 18.
Okay, that is going to hit.
And can I add sneak attack to my damage?
Um,
Since I amoeboid arounded him?
I don't know that you being in melee with it counts as an ally being in combat with it for the purposes of sneak attack. And it's not surprised at this moment. So I'm going to say no sneak attack on this round.
Okay, so I still do 5 points of damage.
All right, cool.
And the goal is just to stab it enough to be able to pry open the metal.
I think with 5 points of damage, you have pried this plate open. It's not quite off yet, but you have this piece of metal plating up that you can now pull it off next turn if you'd like.
Okay.
Yes. Phenomenal. And that brings us to Monban.
So
What are we doing?
Monban, with this void staff, he points it at this bear, and you'll see basically the shadows, any shadows in between, like the padding or whatever, seem to almost pool off of the walls and coalesce around this dark crystal that's at the top of the staff, and then shoots outward towards the Thwirrel bear as he uses his blaster, his void staff blast on it.
Phenomenal.
So that will be, and for shooting things in this game, it's a dex, right?
Yep, sure is.
Ooh, and I'm going to use my reroll because that sucked. So that would have been a 7. This is better. 11 plus 2 plus proficiency is 13 plus 3 is 16.
That will surely hit.
And that does 2d6 necrotic damage.
Ooh.
So that is 8 necrotic damage.
Okay.
And as those, so that darkness sort of coalesces and then wraps around him. And Monban, being a specialist in his void staff, you'll see him, even though he's sort of this thin, gaunt, bird-like creature, you'll see basically him almost follow this dark blast, moving rapidly forward to engage. Is he within 30 feet, I assume? The Thwirrel bear.
Yeah.
So yeah, he'll basically, you see him almost flow through the shadows himself to get up right on it, and he is able to make a melee attack with it as his bonus action, since he shot with his action.
Spooky. Okay. All right.
So that would be a +5, so that's an 18 to hit, and that rolls with a D8 because it's a quarterstaff.
Mm-hmm.
3 plus 5, so that's another 8 points of damage.
Ooh, okay. Very
Bludgeoning.
good. Very good. All right. Phenomenal. Is there anything else you would like to do on your turn?
Movement action, bonus action. Yeah, he's done.
All right, cool. In that case, it is now the Thwirrel bear's turn. And you watch as this large, terrifying, but also kind of like cute and cuddly creature. It's this strange amalgamation of the two. Is going to kind of roar and rush forward. And Monban, you have been the most. You've been the most. I would say in its face so far in terms of dealing damage. So it is going to rush towards you. And as it does, it is going to make 2 attacks, one with its claws and one with its bite.
Okay.
And so that claw attack, I'm going to use my reroll because I get those too, is a 23 to hit.
23 will hit.
Yeah, I was hoping so. Otherwise, I may have miscalculated in what things I gave y'all. And that is going to be 10 points of slashing damage. And then on that bite attack, that is going to be a 20 total to hit.
That'll hit.
And you are going to take 11 piercing damage. But I want to note, as it does this, it bites more like towards the side or the shoulder of you. going towards. Do you have like a sidearm of some type?
No, because the staff you to use it as a blaster, you have to use it as a two-hand. So
Okay.
you can't dual wield with
Okay.
a sudden staff, void staff.
Sure, but you have like a sidearm on your like holstered on your hip or anything like that.
I mean, he probably has a dagger. He probably has a
Okay.
sacrificial dagger that
Okay.
he uses for such things.
You can see it like makes a look. It like goes to like try to find something to bite, and seems like disappointed and just bites you instead. Unable to use its energy siphon ability to become stronger by eating the technology off of your person.
I don't
And that-
like this thing.
That brings us to Xenogoras.
Oh,
What
I
are
don't
you gonna
like
do?
it. Yeah, well, I mean, my friends are attacking it, and also it seems to be hunting for technology. So no, thank you. So Xenogorus is going to just point his fist out in front of him, and his fist is going to detach from the rest of his suit and go flying at the Thwirrel bear for a rocket punch. That is a 25 to hit
Yeah, that's going to hit.
for 11 bludgeoning damage. And
Dang, alright.
it sort of punches the Thwirl bear right sort of in the face. Leave him alone. And then it comes shooting back to reattach onto my arm. And as the Thwirl bear perhaps looks to see where the rocket fist came from, I wave with the rocket fist, and with my other hand, which turns into a blaster, I use my bonus action to fire a repeater at the creature. It's a natural 20.
Hey, all right.
All right, so I have 13 on the dice so far. Hold on. That wasn't great. That's 23, 26, 27 plus 5 plus 3 is 35 points of damage.
Yikes.
So you do this maneuver, right, where you get its attention and it kind of turns, goes, "Rrr," and then you go, and there's just like this blast of energy that strikes it. And as it's turned its face towards you now, you strike it square in the chest, and it like stumbles backwards, like, "Rrr," and is made off balance by this, kind of stumbling backwards now. That is a hefty hit.
Dina, stay away from this one.
Phenomenal. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, that'll do it. Actually, I think I will sort of step away a little bit from where it is. Still keep it and my friends within line of sight, but I do not enjoy the eating of gadgets as a gadgeteer.
Understood. Understood. That will bring us to back into the wall with the Mecha Thwirrel, as it is currently grappled. It's going to need to make a check to escape the grapple. And I seem to recall you got a 19 on that grapple check,
Yeah.
and it has not rolled good on either of its escape rolls. What does it do? What does it do? It is going to still make attacks against you,
Okay.
even though it is not able to escape. It will kind of pivot, and you watch as like the mechanical pieces on its body, like the arms, like pivot and like bend in strange directions as it's going to make claw attacks against you. It will
I'm sure
get-
I dealt with technology that didn't want to be taken apart before.
That's fair. Yeah, it's actually going to get 2 claw attacks and 1 bite attack. I'll do the bite attack first. Is an 11 to hit. I think that misses.
Miss.
And then the first claw attack is a 14 to hit.
Hits.
Okay. And that will be... Oh, that is surprisingly good on damage. That is 14 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And then the next one is going to hit as well with a 17, but not as much damage, with a total of 10 points of slashing damage.
Does that damage is damage weird for me being
It is. So as a rogue, you do have Uncanny Dodge, I think, to half damage. And then as an amoeboid, you have an ability that lets you roll something after you've taken damage from non-magical slashing, piercing, or bludgeoning, reform a bit of your form. I believe that's a D4, but let me double check that very quickly.
So I do want to do Uncanny Dodge on the first one.
Absolutely.
It only takes 7. And then
Yep.
for the second one, I guess, would be the reforming.
Yep, reform ability. Whenever you take bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage from a non-magical weapon and don't drop to 0 hit points, you can use your reaction to immediately gain 1d4 hit points, up to a maximum of the amount taken.
3.
Phenomenal. You get 3 hit points back. And that brings us to the end of initiative. And at this moment, would someone roll a d8 for me? As we have another energy surge.
I'll roll it.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
3.
3. All right. There is this strange moment as suddenly technology in the area seems to begin to not react kindly. I'm going to roll a d4 to determine whose technology is affected. And it'll just be one random piece of technology on your person that ceases to work. So I'm using the numbering on the screen. So 1 is Eugenio, 2 is Ellie, 3 MeoldicBlue, 4 is Jay. That is a 4. So pick one piece of technology on your person, whatever it is, your data pad, and it is going to malfunction for the duration of this round. It will begin working at the start of your next round.
4 was me, correct?
Yes, correct.
He doesn't have a lot of technology on him, so it's probably the jetpack.
Okay. That makes sense to me. So yeah, you are unable to fly for the next round. Your jetpack is, you can hear like that crackling of like pss, pss, as like something is up with it.
Actually, that's what the guy could have bipped to.
Okay. I missed that, and so we'll take it.
Let's play into it. Let's lean into the dice telling the story.
Absolutely. All right. So we've got that. I just need to make some notes of stuff that we've got, but that brings us back to the top of initiative with Harmony.
I am gonna try my cannon again.
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me those attack rolls.
Megatron.
That's a 6. Okay. 13.
A 13 towards the Thwirrel bear. That is not going to hit, unfortunately, but you do get a second attack.
I do. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. It's one of the level 6 perks of being a druid of configuration. 18.
That is going to hit.
Yay. All right. And that's 2 d10s.
Yes.
$13.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. As you, in your gun configuration, shoot at this creature, this blast is going to strike it, and it is going to be incapacitated. How would you like that to look? What does that look like?
Where am I in relation to the bear Thwirrel thing at this point?
Probably
And the
like
rest of the
15 to 20 feet away, I would say. And Monban is not in your line of like your firing range. You have kind of got a clear line of fire, and then next to you, I would say, is where Xenogoras is, who's taken a slight step back.
Okay. So she fires a small shot just to kind of make sure that she's got her angle right. Corrects just a little bit after missing.
Mm-hmm.
Strikes the bear with the photon blast, and there's this brilliant light as it hits, and then the Thwirrel bear kind of staggers and topples, smoking, looking a little charred.
Yes. Yeah, as it collapses, I think the three of you in the hallway would now, for a moment, realize you can actually hear a scuffle from inside the wall. And as you take a moment and kind of assess, wait, Tilde isn't even here right now. Where are they? Hold up. And
Guys!
you hear a like scratching of this mechanical creature, metal against metal on the interior of the wall.
Oh, help, please!
And that will bring us to, if there's nothing else you'd like to do, Harmony, bonus action or movement. You can't move in turret configuration.
I was gonna say, I don't think I can move in turret configuration. So I would probably use my bonus action to wild shape into mobility to get down there quicker.
Okay, easy enough. And what does this mobility form look like?
The mobility form actually looks fairly similar to her normal humanoid stance. So she kind of unfolds back into a person form, but then everything kind of narrows and shrinks in and elongates to be more sleeker, and her legs kind of extend, so they're longer, and they seem to have a certain springiness to them.
Awesome. Very good. So you're able to get down that direction if you would like, using your movement. Where Tilde is in the wall, and you had looked in there, so you kind of know where this is about maybe 10 to 15 feet from where you are currently. And so you could head down that direction and kind of indicate which wall paneling needs to be removed to get into that spot. Although I don't think with your bonus action you could open it this round.
No.
That brings us to Tilde. What are you doing?
I'm going to try and dig in and start grabbing at, so pull the panel off and reach in and start trying to pull out pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So that I'm going to use my laser claws.
All right.
To try and be able to grab and cut anything I can to pull it out.
Spectacular. Go ahead and give me that attack roll.
Okay, and I have the both of them, so that would be 2.
Yep.
So first claw is 18.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Oh, that's without my
Oh, dang. It's an extra hit.
23.
Yes.
And then 15.
15 total?
Yeah.
Is just going to miss.
Okay, so first one hits, second one misses.
Yep. The metal exterior, your claws just don't find purchase on this, on that second attack.
Okay, so let me do, I guess, the damage for that one, for the first one. So that's going to be 4 points of radiant damage.
All right. Cool.
And I am going to... No, that's it for this turn.
Okay. Sure. I will say that with that, you're able to get this piece of metal plating that you're trying to get off. It is open. To the world, there you can see there's kind of a whirring of gears and mechanical bits, but you'll also notice that in addition to it being mechanical, there is a nature of it that seems somewhat arcane, and in this setting, technology is inherently magical, but this is held together and operating not just purely mechanical. There's something magical to its nature as well.
Now I'm more fascinated.
All right. And that will bring us to Monban, if there's nothing else.
Nope, that's it.
All right.
So I have a quick question.
Yeah.
This is just your DM style. Do you allow spells that have a spell attack roll to crit in their damage?
Absolutely.
Great. I would like to use my natural 20.
Okay.
As Monban, there at this owlbear, not owlbear, it's a bear, Thwirrel bear, at this Thwirrel bear, he is immensely offended by its cuteness and the fact
Yes.
that it is dangerous as well, and it just is an anathema to him.
Yep.
And so he is going to cast Vampiric Touch at 4th level.
Okay.
And
Of note, that Thwirrel bear was just knocked out by Harmony.
I'm sorry, I missed that it was knocked out.
Yeah, no. So it sorry, I might have said that it was knocked back, but it is actually
Okay, so
not
it's
a
gone.
threat right now.
Okay.
I was
So-
like, oh dang, we're just gonna get in here. I mean, you could still do that if you wanted to. Maybe that's super on brand for Void Cleric, but yeah.
Well, he'll do something different, which is on brand for Void
Okay.
Cleric. As it is reduced to, I assume, 0 hit points.
Yes.
He does reach out to it, and you can see this sort of dark, sort of raptor spectral claw sort of grab down into it, and basically, if it were to make death saving throws, it fails. It automatically has a failed death saving throw, as it has been
Ooh.
cursed by
Okay.
the void,
Okay.
as he basically has drained a part of its life essence.
You watch as there is this kind of seeping of necrotic energy almost out of it. It appears to I don't want to say suffer. It appears to be less whole than it once was a moment ago. You watch as its physicality decreases some.
But I will cast upon myself then some false life on myself at
Okay.
level 3, which is a D4 plus 14.
Phenomenal.
So that is a 3, so I regain 17. I think is it real hit points, or I think it might be temps. Let me see. Yep, temporary hit points.
yeah.
So yeah, I give myself 17 temporary hit points.
Phenomenal. Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
I think just relish, and there's a sort of avian chuckle. Sounds almost like a dying chicken, a dying rooster, as he kind of pulls that death saving throw out of him.
Okay. Absolutely. The Thwirrel bear is no more. So, Xenogoras, what are we doing?
Heard that scuffle in the wall, so I think I'm gonna and I think Harmony took off down that way, so I'm gonna follow Harmony and run that way. And on my way, I'm going to sort of fiddle with my suit in a few places, and I'm going to switch my Dina's advanced subroutines so that she sort of reinforces my armor a little bit, and I have a bit of damage reduction, because it sounds like Tilda's having quite the fight in the wall down there.
Absolutely. Love that. Okay. And is that your action?
It's my bonus action to switch,
Bonus
so I
action.
will use my
Okay.
action to dash if it's far enough that I need to do that.
No, I think you could get there with one
Oh, okay.
movement action.
Great.
So then you could either use your action if you'd like to pull the wall paneling off, or maybe you want to just like punch through it. I don't know what Xenogoras would do here.
I think he would prefer to pull it off, but knows very well that the odds of that succeeding are slim to none. You know what he's actually going to do? Not knowing what we're going to see on the other side of the wall that our friend Tilda is fighting, he's going to unhook from his belt this little sort of metal sphere with little purple flashing lights, and he's going to look to just sort of have a look at where everyone is, and he's going to toss it so that it lands sort of perfectly in between where he and Harmony are and where Monban is, and the three of us will be invisible. It's an invisibomb. So the three of us are invisible for 5 rounds, or until we attack or cast a spell.
Nice.
Spectacular. I love that. Y'all, Gadgeteers are so much fun. Okay. Alrighty. And that will bring us to the Mecha Thwirrel, which is going to attempt to escape from this grapple again, because you've just got it held. And that I'm going to use my auto crit, because I have rolled a 2 on every single check to be ungrappled.
It's destiny. I am Jello.
Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna use the auto crit. It's gonna automatically succeed with 22, 23. Let me double check my stat block here because it's desperate. It wants to get out, and like literally just like reshapes its form to wiggle away from you. Yeah, so 23 total. And it is going to having escaped. That is. What it uses its action for, and so for its movement, it is going to run away from you as fast as Thwirrel possible, and is going to dart actually out the hole that Harmony had made in the wall earlier, and get about 10 to 15 feet down that hallway away from y'all. So that means that Tilde, you will get a attack of opportunity. And I think it will also pass through your space, Monban, if you want to get an attack of opportunity as well.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so y'all can both give me those attack rolls and give me that damage, and then that'll be the end of its turn.
So attack roll for me is going to be a 19.
Yeah, that'll hit.
And then damage is going to be 6 points of slashing damage.
6 points, excellent.
You get back here.
And
All
mine's
right.
a 17
Okay.
and plus 8 points of bludgeoning.
Excellent. Okay, very good, very good. That is, I'm doing math in my head very quickly. It's not my strong suit, that's fine. As this thing is going to dart away. So it is now out in the open in the hall as it has tried to escape from your clutches, Tilde. It was not very pleased with that, especially now that you're starting to peel off bits of it. And that will bring us back to the top of initiative with you, Harmony. What would you like to do now that this mechanical Thwirrel creature, kind of the same motif on that Thwirrel bear that you just saw, but it is decidedly mechanical. It is an automaton. Is now out in the open in the hallway.
And how far away is it?
I
from
would
me?
say from you probably 20 to 25 feet right now.
Okay. I am going to move towards it, which shouldn't be an issue because I have 40 feet speed movement right now in my mobility form. And is this too big for me to cast Animal Friendship on it?
What? I'm trying to think what the stipulations are for animal friendship. Let's take a look.
Because I know I can do that on constructs.
Yes, you can. A beast. If the intelligence is higher than 4, if it's 4 or higher, then it fails. So, as you cast this spell and try to cast animal friendship on it, it fails, which tells you that you think it is it does not have a low enough intelligence for this to work.
Okay. Then she's gonna talk at it.
Okay.
Using her ability to speak with constructs.
Mhm.
Hello. Why are you doing this? Can you not eat our ship, please?
You get a response, and this is not in a language, because you've spoken to it in this language of technology, and so it is going to reply back in a string of ones and zeros. That you just get the sense that it is saying, "But there's food."
But we need this stuff. You cannot eat this food.
And I need food. there are many O's in the word food, like 5 or 6 at least. It is very, very focused on the food element. And I will say that is your action to communicate with it back and forth there. Is there anything else you would like to do?
For now, no. But I will say, for anyone who's out in the hallway and can actually hear, what you're hearing on my end sounds like dial-up.
Okay. Okay. I can dig it. All right, that'll bring us to Tilde. What would you like to do?
I am going to get out of the wall, mad that it escaped, going after it, and I am. Let's see. I'm going to come out of the wall just glowing red as I am angry, and my color changes depending on emotion.
Oh, I love that.
And I am going to cast Cloud of Daggers on it.
Okay. All right.
That hit people close by.
No, it is 5 feet
Okay, cool.
around
Yeah.
it.
Just double checking. Because I think I'm right there.
It has moved past you, Monban, so
Okay.
you've got probably 10 feet.
Okay.
So my attack on that is going to be. That is a natural 20 for a
Heck
26.
That is
Nice.
most definitely going to hit.
And is that double damage on spell?
Yeah, go ahead and roll your dice damage and then double that number before you add, if there's a modifier. There may not be, in this case, so just double whatever you roll on the dice.
There is a modifier. So let me.
Perfect.
This is going to be a lot of math.
Yep.
$22 doubled, 44 points of damage.
Plus a modifier at that point? Is there a modifier that you're adding?
Yeah, the modifier I added to the rolls that it was 2 because it's 4d4
Okay.
with the modifiers and then doubled.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So that would be 44 points of, I believe, slashing damage. Yes.
Yeah, that's nasty. Okay. All right. Very nice.
So yeah, so you just see their amoeba form just kind of coming out of a wall and just very angrily
Phenomenal.
casting at it, and a whirl of daggers going around it and slashing
Excellent. Excellent. As there's this whirl of daggers, you can see that the blades are ripping into the mechanical form of this creature. It is starting to look a bit hurt. Actually, that was a pretty nasty hit on it. And it is at this moment, as you have cast the spell, that 2 new challengers enter the hallway. As you spot them coming around the corner here in the hall simultaneously. First, you see what appears to be a humanoid of some type, striding forward with purple hair, with this kind of metallic helmet on, with 4 ears sticking up off of it. But it's this kind of maybe like a Norse-style armored helmet. And you see that this individual has chain armor on, with this rather squirrely-looking hammer in his hand. And you see someone who, metagame knowledge, this is Thwirrel, the god of thunder. And beside him, you see a figure dressed in kind of dark purples, with more of a cowl on, with, again, the same 4-ear motif. And this one appears to be walking forward with you recognize in its hands, not like throwing daggers. They appear to be shaped in the same motif of the ears. So it's not a batarang necessarily. It's a Thwirrel rang. I'm still workshopping that name. But these two individuals round the corner, and both only see Tilde, because Tilde is the only one who is not currently impacted by the invisible grenade that Xenogoras just launched. And so you see as Thor approaches, he comes first in initiative. You see as he'll step up and kind of look around, tossing the hammer in his hand playfully, and will kind of eye you and
Hey.
gives you this strange look, especially seeing there's a dead Thwirrel bear. There is a mecha Thwirrel that has been torn to shreds, and it's just you in the hallway.
I
It's
was
just-
doing research. It went horribly wrong.
And he is going to take his hammer and throw it at you.
Crap.
And that is going to be a 17 to hit.
That definitely is. Can
Okay.
it not like just go through me?
So here's the thing, like it'll deal bludgeoning damage, which you can say is you're able to shift most of your mass out of the way, and you
Oh yeah,
can
because that would
reform
be half
afterwards.
because I would reform. Yeah.
Between your ability to reform and your ability to have damage, you are slurping out of the way, so to say. That's the technical term, is slurping. You are going to take 7 points of bludgeoning damage and 5 points of lightning damage. So, as you are struck by this hammer as it comes out and then returns to his hand, then Thwirrel Man, because that's what we're calling him, speaks in this gravelly voice and says, "Where's the other energy going? Where?" And it's going to throw 2 of its Thwirrel rings at you as well.
Oh.
Guys, if you're around, I can use some help, please.
I'm
This
so
feels like
sorry.
it's entirely my fault.
So the first one is gonna miss. It's a natural 1, but the second one is a 15 to hit.
Can I uncanny dodge?
Sure.
Okay. I haven't played a rogue in a while.
Yeah.
Because it does hit, so I'm gonna uncanny dodge.
Yep. So you'll take half damage.
Can I reform around it in the same way?
Like
to add on to the
I would say that you can only do that once because you only have
Okay.
1 reaction. So you'll take an additional 6 damage from the Thwirrel Man.
Okay. And I after that I'm just gonna be laid down going, guys.
I am very sorry for the record. Chat, I will remind you that if you see all of this happening and say, "Oh, this is terrible, our party is on low health," you could donate money to revive a player, to give them an automatic long rest. Those are both options. So think about that, because an automatic long rest is an instant heal and recovery of all spell slots. So think about that if anyone's concerned about the well-being of our daring adventurers. And that will bring us, now that the 2 new challengers have had their turn, to you, Monban. What would you like to do?
Oh, Monban. Am I within 30 feet of Thwor?
You are within 30 feet of all opponents right now.
So, having been a member of the Avan-Ra, which is known for visiting other planets and creating these godlike figures for them to worship, seeing Thwor, this Thwirrel, just epitome of the Avinra mythos and dogma, he is filled, and he's probably got some cute little buck teeth or something, which just offends everything out of him. So being invisible, he is going to creep through the shadows like the lurking specter of death. And I am now going to do what I was going to do last time. I'm going to use my nat 20 to use
yes,
vampiric touch. So
excellent.
I think we will see there in the hallway, because I stay invisible till I cast a spell, correct?
Yes, correct.
So you'll see Thwirrel grab back his hammer after just beating on my good friend Tilde, and just sort of emerging out of invisibility, but also sort of coalescing into shadows. You will see Monban sort of hunched over form, and from out underneath of sort of these robes he wears and armor, you will see these emaciated black oily wings spread out, just horrible looking desiccated void covered wings, and he will grab by either side of that ridiculous four-eared helmet and open up this sort of vulture like beak and maw. His eyes will glow purple and the wings will just start to embrace him with the void as I cast vampiric touch at 4 levels on a natural 20 for
Amazing.
8d6 damage.
Yeah, that is terrifying.
Oh my gosh, and there are lots of 6s here. There's 3 6s, 3 up 6s, 18, 20, 28, 29, 30, 34 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
And as that 34 points of necrotic damage suck out of him, you see the damage and the bite marks from the Thwirrel bear begin to close and heal themselves as I gain back 17 hit points as
Yes.
I basically drain the life out of War.
Yeah, you watch as you can see his knees begin to buckle. He's still standing, but this is taking a great toll on him physically. And as he has, pulled back this hammer, you grab him and he kind of like does that thing where he like cringes in pain as you suck this life force out of him. Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
So, and I need to check with you a little bit. One of these, actually, I think no, it would need to be a taken action. So I've already used an action. So it will be for next time. I will check with you on a little bit of home brewing I did to change the Raw thing.
Delightful. I look forward to it. Wonderful. That then brings us to Xenogoras. What would you like to do?
Just feels terrible. So, unfortunately, he's can't do much to help other than making sure that poor Tilde is not the only one visible. Well, Tilde and Monban now. So, I think he's going to also attack Thwirrel, but he's gonna just be as sort of once he appears, he's just like sort of making himself as big as possible and being sort of as gesticular as possible to try and pull attention from poor Tilde, and just the whole time just turning behind him. I'm sorry. So we'll start with no, we're gonna start with a blaster with a repeater. Because I have advantage on this first one since I am invisible for the moment.
Yeah.
What's happening? This dice. Okay, great. I am gonna use my nat 20 because I rolled a 2 and a 4.
Okay. Fair enough.
So, because that was just dreadful. So that's 11, 12, 13, 14, 24, 25, 26, 32, plus 5 is 37 damage with the blaster.
All right, and just for my memory, you are attacking
Thwirrel. Thwirrel. We've been joking about all the
32.
We've been joking about all the other gods in chat, and now they're all in my brain.
Not Thwoki.
Floki and Thwoden, part of the
Floki
Norse
and Thwoden
gods.
show up.
Oh no!
And Heimthwall guarding the Bifrost.
Of course.
Yeah, that one's
Yeah,
the
I
hardest
can't
one.
even say
I
that
am
one.
Yeah.
so sorry for bringing this upon us all. No, I'm not. It's for the
You're
kids.
not.
It's
No,
for the
you're not.
kids. This is a powerful blast. Thor, who was just barely still on his feet after what Monban did, is just barely hanging on to life at this point. As this strikes him, you can see he actually will drop to his knees, but is still conscious for the time being.
Oh, good. I'll use my bonus action for my rocket fist then, but it's not going to punch him. It's going to go fly. Well, let's roll and see what happens first before I start describing cool-ass things that don't happen.
Okay.
Maybe. What's my bonus? This is a 16?
That is going to hit.
Okay, so I rolled a 10 damage, so it's 15 damage, and it's just going to fly up, and right in front of his face, it's going to stop, and it's going to flick him.
This is a mighty powerful flick, and as you smack him right between the eyes, you watch as he goes "Ugh," and collapses to the ground. Would you like that to be a non-lethal damage or lethal damage?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Homeboy is down.
Wait, so he went to 0 hit points?
Yes.
Yes.
You hear that same cackle out of
Ew.
Monban. That sort of last rooster sound as again he steals away a death saving throw, and just because it looks cool.
Spectacular. Wonderful. I love that. Okay, and that will bring us to the Mecha Thwirrel, who is still standing and now had allies. Now it has an ally. It's going to turn back around and take a look at y'all. Suddenly surprised by the number of individuals that it can see. It had previously thought that there was only one that it was fighting. Well, suddenly there's more. But wait, there's more.
Now he gets to know what it feels like. When random Norse pantheon shows up.
Yes. I love it. This is the best thing I've ever created. And it is going to it's going to try something. Could everyone make a wisdom saving throw for me?
Ooh. Oh, I'm good at those. 7, not there.
14.
Okay.
14 here
22.
as well.
17 on my end.
Okay, you all notice as this effect takes place, and almost like hexagonal panels on the exterior of this creature begin to flip and it begins to shimmer. But anyone who rolled above a 16 is still able to see where the Mecha Thwirrel is. But its active cloaking is making it hard to see. And so for those of you who have failed, you are actually not just not able to see it, you are not able to perceive it. You can't hear it. And unless it attacks you, you can't feel it if it passes by you. It is invisible to your senses.
Oh, wait, where'd it go?
But those of you who beat the 16 are still able to keep tabs on it. As it is going to take the hide action. And that is its turn for now. Bringing us back to the top of initiative, where I would like for everyone to just give me, what are your passive perceptions?
13.
17.
14.
11.
Okay. Everybody, except for Xenogoras, you spot behind Thwirrel Man. You see that there are 3 very small, technically tiny beasts. Rodents. They are purplish in their fur color. They have the 4 ears, the 4 eyes, and remarkably angry-looking eyebrows, like this, very dark black against the purple, the purple fur, as they come around the corner and just pure ritual, kind of tilting their heads like this and going. Let me roll initiative for the Thwirrels. There are 3 of them that that appear thanks to donations from chat.
All right.
That is okay. All right. And they rolled a 20, so they will go right after Harmon. Harmon, you're up. What would you like to do? Harmony.
Okay, where are these? Where's Thwirrel Man and his little Thwirrel pals versus the Mechano Thwirl?
So Mecha Thwirl has hidden and has not actually moved. So remains to be at this point probably 20 or so feet away from you, and then about 10 feet behind, about 30 feet from you is where the Thwirl Man is, and then probably 5 to 10 feet behind the Thwirl Man is where you see the actual Thwirls, these little rodent-like creatures that are just emerging around the corner.
Okay, but they're all down at the same end of the hallway?
Yep, they are
Okay.
all
Same
in the
direction.
same direction.
Cool. And how close to Thwirl Man do the other Thwirls look?
The little rodent Thwirls are 5 to 10 feet behind Thwirl Man.
Okay, does it look like he's breathing?
Thwirl Man, yes, decidedly
Cool.
humanoid.
Cool. Create vacuum on Thwirl Man.
Delightful. Okay. What's the radius on that?
It can go up to 30 feet. So I'm going to try and gauge that to make sure that I've got all organic Thwirls included in that, but not my teammates.
Excellent. Okay. Create vacuum. I love it. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure that I understand how breathing works in here. I can hold their
By games.
breath.
What an absurd thing to have to say. I love it.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Con
A creature in
modifier,
the air
yeah.
that breathes air must hold
Yeah.
its breath or begin suffocating. Okay. Wonderful. So, they're going to have to hold their breaths, respectively, except for the Mecha Thwirl. The Mecha Thwirl does not breathe in that manner as a construct.
Right.
But you would understand this. Okay. Good to know. Is there
My
anything else you would
friends
like
need
to do?
that air. Stop breathing it.
I like
That's
it.
what you hear.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
I don't think there are any other actions that I could take. So,
Sure. In that case, that will bring us to the Thwirls. And they are going to dart forward now, trying to navigate through the vacuum. They are going to run at, well, I guess actually, Monban. You are probably, as I think about this, because you had stood right behind Thwor, you are probably in that vacuum as well, and will need to hold your breath.
Yep.
And so the Thwirls will probably move to attack you, being the closest.
Because I was right in War's
the
face.
closest enemy combatant. Correct.
I would say that Harmony probably knows that's not as big a problem for me as it is for others
Yes.
about the breathing.
Yes. Breathing is optional for some people. Okay, and so these Thwirls are going to dash at you, and you are going to take 3 bite attacks.
Okay.
Don't worry, they're just rodents. I don't think the 9 is going to hit your armor class.
Nope.
But does a 18 hit your armor class?
18 does it.
Okay, so you'll get hit by 2 attacks then, and you will take 2 points of piercing damage. But noticeably, one of them is going to bite your jetpack, siphoning energy out of it.
So, quick question for you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This siphon energy, because I know things are that technology is magic.
Yes.
Is it recovering hit points as it does that?
It is not.
Okay.
And I don't know that you would know what exactly it does, but the Thwirrel seems to glow in this kind of slightly arcane nature when it takes this energy in, but it does not appear to become any healthier, if that makes sense.
Cool. No, that's fine.
So one is going to attack your jetpack, and then the other one is going to try to go for the weapon that you have in your hands, which does function as a blaster in some scenarios, doesn't it?
Correct. Not sure if it's considered technology or arcane in nature, but whatever you want to rule it as, it's fine with me.
Yeah. What is the specific item again that we've based it off of? Remind me.
It is the Sun Staff. It is the Avenra Sun Staff.
Sun Staff.
And so it is on the blaster. It is on the blaster chart.
Then what I will say is it will take away the blaster effect for next round.
Perfect.
So you cannot use it as a ranged weapon.
But can still use it as a
as a melee weapon.
As a quarterstaff. Got it.
Yes,
that's
affirmative.
Cool.
Fair. As the energy is temporarily siphoned out of it.
Gotcha.
You take just 2 points of damage from this, but it is attacking the technology on your person.
Gotcha.
Thwar's dead. Tilde.
All right, so Thwirrel Man, how's he looking?
He has not been harmed yet. He has been plunged into the cold, dark vacuum of artificial space, but is, aside from being perhaps a little uncomfortable, fine.
Okay, I am going to cast Cause Fear on him, so he has to make a Wisdom saving throw of 14.
Ooh, lovely. Okay. Okay, it's going to succeed with a 21 total.
Okay. So then, for my bonus action, I'm just going to move behind Xenogoras.
Okay. Okay. Easy enough to do. And then that
was
will
me
bring
trying
us...
to be like, do you see this vulture man? He's gonna kill you.
Just wait till my next move.
That's funny. That brings us to Thwirrel Man's turn. And Thwirrel Man is going to turn and look at you, Monban, because you are right there.
Mm-hmm.
And is going to turn and make an attack against you with, there are these kind of pointy Thwirrel ear-shaped spikes coming off of the edges of its arm gauntlets. And it's just going to jam both of its arms into you, making 2 attacks in this manner. I've rolled 8 on both attacks, so for a total of 14.
Neither one penetrates through his sort of half plate, this strange sort of segmented, almost scarab-like half plate armor that he wears under his sort of ceremonial cleric robes.
So I think the first attack hits and gets caught in the armor, but doesn't deal any damage. And as he tries to pull back the first one to swing it with the second one, it throws him off balance, and he just whiffs entirely as you are able to step out of the way, having deflected the first attack and sidestepping the second attack, and that is his turn. Monban, what would you like to do?
Gosh, there's so many fun, scary things I can do.
That's not a comforting thing to hear.
Yeah, I think he is, because he's got these little critters as well, we're going to do a little bit more of an area of effect type thing. So you see Monban sort of look, and as he looks, that as he's in robes and that there wouldn't be armor underneath, but as these sort of horribly cute gauntlets do not penetrate and sort of clang off of this chitinous scarab metal, you actually see Monban sort of look down and sort of pull his robes apart, almost cracking his chest open. And you see emerge out of sort of from underneath of his robes and out of the armor, this huge swarm of void scarabs as he casts Spirit Guardians.
Okay.
And these are these emaciated beetles that glow with void energy that are sort of crackling and have far too many eyes and too many mouths and too many weird places as they come swarming out from underneath of Monban's robes and just completely engulf both these thwips, the things.
The Thwirrels, yeah.
The Thwirrels.
Yeah.
The Thwirrels and Thwirrel Man. And you just sort of see this evil grin
oh goodness,
take over Monban's face.
Oh. Okay. Remind me, does the damage happen on your turn or at the start of their turn?
The start of their turn, or if
Okay.
someone enters, anyone who's not in my 20-foot radius, in my 15-foot radius around me, so a 30-foot area. Any new things that happen to pop into our wonderful little game because our chat is so wonderful and giving.
Yes.
If they emerge and start their turn as they arrive in our corridor of horrors, they'll catch it as well.
Yes. That being said, chat, please remember that we are doing this to support the kids. Help me submit more terrible Thwirrel-based puns into this game. And I will remind you that at $3,535, we are giving away a D&D Beyond Sourcebook bundle. If you are looking for all the great stuff to run a D&D Beyond campaign, we're close. We're like $235 away from that. So make that happen. Plus, we've got Thwirl Dragons and Thwirlu. I'm workshopping it, okay?
Oh wow!
Again, do it again.
Ooh.
Who knows?
Speaking
It'll be
its
fun.
name ties our tongues. It is so eldritch.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Hilda's feeling so vindicated in her cause fear. She's like, you see what I mean?
That will bring us, if there's nothing else on your turn, Monban, to Xenogoras.
Oh, that's it. Yep.
Thwirl Man is different than Mecha Thwirl, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Thwirl Man is organic, yeah?
Affirmative. Yes. Decidedly a biological life form.
Fine.
Thwirlask.
Then
Devin.
No, who is that? Devin. All right, well, we got to take this up soon before we get all of these other things. So I think of maybe a few more steps back now, not because of the technology eating Thwirls, but because of the smile that Monban just put on. So a few more steps backwards, and then a rocket punch to Thwirl Man as Xenogoras just says, "Where are they coming from?" 19 to hit.
That is definitely going to hit.
All right, for 10 bludgeoning.
Excellent.
And then a bonus action with the blaster. 24 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
For 18 radiant.
Ooh, very nice.
Just one of the very like sleepy, low key, early level abilities of the Gadgeteer is just to start adding dice to blaster damage, and it's wild.
It's like, I'm just gonna modify this and enhance that.
Yep, and this and this and this, and suddenly I'm doing half a fireball every time I shoot my gun.
It's pretty nice.
It's not bad.
Nice.
Not bad.
Yeah, would recommend. That's pretty nasty. You see as particularly that blaster fire, but the bludgeoning damage as well does quite a bit. And Thwirl Man kind of is knocked back slightly.
Good.
Yeah. There's a knockback effect that you definitely modified your blaster for that.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Is there anything else you would like to do on your turn?
Care of it.
Okay. In that case, the Mecha Thwirrel is up next, and it is within the range for your spiritual guardians. So, give me the damage on that.
Yeah, 3d8. Yeah, 3d8. So that is 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, very good. Yeah, and you watch as is this radiant damage?
No, necrotic.
Necrotic. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You watch as this happens, and this kind of dark siphoning off of energy tells you, even though you aren't able to see where the Mecha Thwirrel is, you can see this dark energy siphoning off of it to tell you that it is where it is, about 10 feet away from you currently.
Gotcha. Oh, I'm sorry. He gets a wisdom saving throw to possibly half damage.
Oh, that is going to say, well,
yeah, I'm a 15,
maybe
so.
With a -3 modifier, it gets 14. So that is full damage.
Nice.
So yeah, that's gonna hit. Delightful. Okay, and that will bring us back to the top of initiative for Harmony.
All right. Have the smaller Thwirrels migrated outside of the range of my, or out of the 30-foot-ish range from the Thwirl Man?
They are
vacuum?
still in the vacuum. They had just attacked Moonban and are currently somewhere in this swarm of creepy beetles with eyes and mouths and things.
Okay.
It's very normal. Perfectly normal day on the ship.
I guess I'm going to shift focus for the moment over to the Mecha Thwirl.
Yeah.
I know exactly where it is. No issue seeing that. So I'm going to shift back into turret mode.
Okay.
And pew pew.
Yeah, give me those attacks.
That's not a D20. Natural 20, 27.
That surely will hit.
And I guess the second one is a 25.
That's also gonna hit. So give me damage, and then be sure to double dice on that first one.
So instead of 2d8 or 2d10s, it's 4d10s, or am I duplicating? What
I will let
they
you
roll?
choose whether you would like to roll twice as many dice or roll 2 dice and then multiply it. If you roll really well on the 2 and multiply it, then that bodes really well. Or if you roll really poorly on the 2, then you roll an additional 2, then you can balance it out. I'll let you decide how you want to do that.
I will stick with 4 dice. 15 on the first attack, and then 2 on the second.
Phenomenal. Okay.
Oh, well, no, not 2 damage. I was
Right.
rolling. I was reminding myself how many dice to roll.
Oh, yeah,
10
yeah.
on the second. Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
And that is radiant damage.
Awesome. Between both of those attacks, you are able to blast through the Mecha Thwirl. You kind of aim for that chunk of mist armor plating that Tilde broke apart, and are able to pierce through it, causing the Mecha Thwirl to cease functioning. It is incapacitated. 1 down. Alrighty. Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn? That's bonus action to shift, action to attack. Oh, and you can't move otherwise. Okay.
No, I would have to shift to move.
Right. Which, okay, cool. Awesome. Well, hey, you blasted that Mecha Thwirl. It's been a acorn in your side for a while now, but you got it. I'm sorry, they're not going to get any better. I apologize. That brings us to the Thwirls. At the start of their turn, they are in the radius for.
Yep. They get wisdom saving throws.
Yeah. How much damage is on that?
10 damage for full damage, 5 if they save on a 15.
It doesn't matter. They all go down.
So you see these beetles just, and it again, that's that weird thing. Some of them are like eating them sideways because the mouths on their sides, and just consuming these thwirrels, and then take back flight and begin swarming around those who remain or are yet to come.
Yeah. Yeah. Phenomenal. Okay. Pull them out of initiative, and that'll bring us to Tilde.
So who's still left on the field?
Right now it is just Thwirrel Man.
How's he looking?
You know, he's not quite bloodied, but has been hit by a pretty sizable hit from Xenogoras.
So, after seeing Momban's terrifying display, I'm going to use that to my advantage in a way, and I'm going to run around for a sneak attack up behind Thwirrel Man with both of my laser claws.
Absolutely.
So that will be 2 hits. And so for one of them, it will be an 18.
That'll hit.
And the other one, I'm going to use my nat 20 so I can get double damage
Phenomenal.
with my sneak attack.
Yes. Okay. All right. Ooh. Whew.
So
And
I'll roll each of these individually.
Okay. Okay.
So first claw is going to be oh god, this is too much math for this early.
You only get sneak attack once per round, so I would say probably you don't want to use it on that first one so that you can apply it to the critical hit.
Yeah, I'm doing the
yeah.
20
Okay.
first.
Okay, great.
So that's going to be 32 on the first hit.
Okay. All right.
And 6 on the second one.
All right. As you
So 38 points.
As you carve into this strange man who has decided to gallivant at nights as a Thwirrel person, what does it look like as you just rip him to shreds and incapacitate him?
So you see Tilda move from behind Xenogoras and just slither up the back of him and 2 claws going through his back.
Phenomenal. And as you strike in and strike through, you pierce through the armor that he's wearing as kind of this purplish combat armor of some type. And as you dig in, you rip in, you watch as he just collapses to the ground in front of you, leaving us for the moment out of combat.
We got him? Is that all of them?
Man looks down. You who take on the moniker of these cute things. Reaches down and pulls a death save out of him.
Okay. All right. I love this. This is so creepy. I love it.
Yeah. I guess the scarabs can last for 10 minutes. So he's going to keep concentrating on it, but all the scarabs sort of come back and in a very creepy way, instead of disappearing back under his robes so that they're still around, they basically just are crawling on the outside of Monban's form, all of these void scarabs as they are still summoned and have not returned. So for 10 minutes, I'm going to keep up concentration because I got a feeling this ain't over yet.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You have a moment now as combat has subsided. There are a number of strange creatures and individuals laid out across the floor here in the hallway. And then you have a moment where you realize we haven't actually addressed the issue that the power is out.
So I was just going to say, it's really dark. Tilda, where you were? No, Harmony. Wait, Eugenio doesn't remember who started this. Harmony, were you the one that was looking first, or was it Tilda?
It was me.
Harmony was
Okay.
looking. I was inside the wall and saw him like
Right.
eating the wires.
Right. We
He
should
kind
address
of
that.
ate some stuff in the wall. I think we're gonna have to do a lot more repairs than we thought.
I'm just leaving the vacuum running for the 10-minute duration on Thwirrel Man's corpse. Just in
May as well.
case.
Why
His
not?
freeze-dried Thwirrel Man for.
Yeah.
Jerky!
Who needs resupply stops?
But she's gonna, Harmony is gonna go over to where the frayed wires were in the wall, and she's gonna start trying to repair the connections.
Yeah, Xenogoras will go help Harmony.
Is
All right.
Mecha Thwirrel on the ground dead?
Yes.
I'm gonna
Um,
scavenge the heck out of it.
There are a lot of great mechanical bits and bobs that you can pull
I
out.
want whatever made that cloak.
Okay. All right.
I'm just gonna start digging through it and pulling, just completely like. Since we're talking vultures, vulture on a carcass, pick this thing clean.
Yeah.
Mom
of
Ban
anything I
approves.
can.
Give me a technology check to try to pull off the bits that you need in order to do this.
Sweet. 19.
Yeah. You realize that there has something to do with the plating on the creature itself that allows it to have this effect. So as you are able to pull off bits of the plating, you're not sure exactly how to control it. Yeah, that's for some,
That's for people
testing
better than me.
in the future. But you are able to dismantle the plating. I'll say it takes maybe 10, 15 minutes to get all of the plating off in order to then
I'm
have.
just gonna stick
all
it
of
right in.
Yep. Just drop it into your amoeboid form. Bloop, 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 and it just floats around on the inside.
I feel like Tilda and I have an understanding where I will build things for them out of what they scavenge in exchange for them not scavenging my things.
Absolutely.
A
is
symbiotic
for later.
relationship.
So to speak.
Yeah. very krill and whale.
Yeah. One side slightly more defensive than the other, but sure.
Yes. Okay, as you are trying to repair those wires in the wall, I'm going to have you give me a technology check to see whether or not you're able to successfully do that.
Do you want us
Or-
both troll, or do you want me to give advantage to Harmony, or how should we handle that?
Actually, what let's do is let's have one person roll a technology check to try to assist, and then one person will actually make a sleight of hand check to try to connect the wires themselves.
Oh Lord. How's your sleight of hand, Harmony?
I
Yep.
did
Oh,
not
cool.
take that.
Great.
I've got a little dex bonus, but I'm decent at technology. I took the technologist background.
Okay, you do that. And I will cross my fingers on this
I will
sleight of
say,
hand.
as a gadgeteer, you're familiar with working with electronics and technology,
Uh-huh.
so you can make this roll at advantage.
Great. No,
22.
we definitely don't want to keep the one that didn't fall off the table.
All right.
And a 21.
All right. The 22 on that technology check lowers the DC dramatically as you are able to connect these wires in spite of all the damage. There's a fair bit of damage. This robot squirrel took a massive bite out of here, but you're able to reconnect the wires. Okay, blue goes to blue, red goes to red, get it all connected, and in a short moment's time, light does return to this section of the ship as you hear this kind of whirring and this humming as power comes back. You have a moment. If there's anything you would like to do in this moment, feel free.
Can we look around for? Do we think they just stowed away from the last time we were planet side, or should we be more concerned about more? I feel like I don't feel safe.
Mom Bam will have slunk off into the med bay, hopefully somewhat unnoticed, to look around for personal items.
Okay. Give me a stealth check on that Monban. And Xenogoras, could you give me either a nature check or a history check to see if you might know anything about the nature of
Ooh.
Thwirrels?
Okay. This is a history check for a 25.
You have heard of Thwirrels before and know quite a bit about them. As someone who works with technology in particular, it's kind of helpful to know what the primary predator against the things you create is.
Yeah.
And you would know that Thwirrels do in fact have a terrifying reputation because they devour this energy out of constructs, of anything mechanical and electronic in nature, often disabling smaller pieces of technology or causing larger pieces of technology to malfunction. And you would know particularly, and you saw this replicated on the Mecha Thwirrel, they have this ability to escape detection, making it difficult to locate them if there's an infestation on a ship or something, for instance. Because when they hide from you, you don't just not see them. You are entirely unaware of their presence. Even if you're staring directly at it, they evade your perception entirely. And as rodents, they tend to multiply quickly, a la rabbits and other small critters like that.
Would that include hiding from, I assume that it would, from thermovision as well as just regular sight and other sort of mundane senses?
With thermal sight, you think you could probably perceive them by their heat signature. And so you'd be aware of where they are with that, but wouldn't be able to see them with regular vision.
Sure. So Dina, knowing all of this, just without me even asking, just flips my visor to thermal sight and is like, don't let them anywhere near me.
Understood.
Well, then behave.
Monban, you are able to successfully procure the personal item that you are looking for.
Well, I really want to see if has it been disturbed. He will leave it in place unless it has been disturbed, because
it seems like a small bite has been taken out of it.
Oh, he's pissed. So yeah, he as he walks in, he sees where near the sort of the med bay, the med bed, whatever, that's used for the most serious wounds and stuff, that one of the panels has been gnawed through, and he pulls back the panel and reaches out and pulls out this sort of black heart-shaped object and sees the bite taken out of it, and you just see rage in his eyes as he tucks it into his cloak. If 10 minutes have passed, the beetles will follow it in. If they're not, they'll still be crawling all over it. Just to make it a more horrifying thing that he had something planted in there.
I'll say that the beetles disappear after this moment because it's a terrifying mental image. That
they all sort of flow up onto his hand around this sort of dark, sort of almost pulsing heart-shaped idol, and then he slips it back under his cloak.
Okay.
Leave the med bay.
Very good. As you emerge from the med bay, and as Xenogoras, as you and Dina have had this conversation, you receive a shipwide transmission. This is coming down from the reactor on the ship, from one of the engineers in that area. And it comes through, you can actually hear it quite audibly through whatever data pads or things you have, as well as the ship's communication system. And you hear, is there anyone who can help? We seem to be having power outages down in the reactor, and that's kind of problematic because the reactor powers the ship.
Oh, right.
Anyone?
We had the power. Should we, Harmony? We've done this. Should we? Let's.
Yeah, I'm coming.
We are on our way. Please stand by.
Thank you, thank you. I can't see and fix it when it's dark.
I was sure I outfitted every mechanic on this ship with a simple flashlight. I must have missed one.
Must have misplaced it in the darkness. I don't know. Okay, is that where you'd like to head? as a
Yeah.
group? The simplest things.
That's true.
All right, as you head this direction, it takes 5, maybe 10 minutes to get there. And as you arrive, you do see that the entire reactor and the surrounding hallways are dark. It is pitch black. For those of you with dark vision, you can see a little bit. If you've got your thermal sight on, Xenogoras, you can see that there are a couple of engineers who are attempting to wander around in here, and you'll watch as they'll walk and like smack into a wall, or walk and then bump into each other, and you'll hear like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I apologize," as they are bumping into one another. And Harmony, you'll see that too. As you are entering into this room, what would you like to do?
Xenogoras feels bad for the blinded engineers, but Dina is just having it. She thinks it's hilarious. So there are these occasional little like mechanical whirs that Xenogoras hears as laughter, but everyone else just hears her software sort of whirring.
You can also, just so you know, you can also see Harmony's eyes glowing faintly in the darkness. To prevent further damage to your forms, please do not move. We will remedy this issue as quickly as possible.
Right, you hear a sigh from inside the room. Oh, thank you. We're just trying to figure out what's caused the source of this outage. What would you like to do?
I'll talk to the ship and
Okay.
trying to find out from it where it's hurting.
Yeah. All right. As you communicate with it, you chatter back and forth, and you hear somewhat similar to the whirring that Dina uses to communicate. I think you'd said earlier this was more of a dial-up sound, Harmony. You hear this going back and forth of conversation between Harmony and the ship as you come to know that it seems like something caused the reactor to fail. And there was a backup power source that was prepared to kick in, but never did. It never, like, something kept that emergency backup from switching on.
Brody says that there is something wrong with the backup power. It's not switching on for some reason. There was also an issue with the reactor.
You want me to go in and take a look?
Inside the reactor? That does
I
not
mean-
seem wise.
Wherever he thinks it's failing, I can at least look and see, because I saw a lot of chewed up wires, and if they've made it all the way down here, then we need to know how bad the damage is.
Perhaps we should assess connecting points.
That works too.
Seems reasonable.
Sure.
Mom
so-
Man is brooding.
Fair. Fair. Okay, so as you are going through in here, I'm gonna have I will let you make your choice of perception checks or investigation checks. If you do not have dark vision or thermal sight, this will be a disadvantage, though.
Investigation check for me, pretty please.
Okay.
I took perception, 25.
Okay.
He
All right.
doggy, 28.
All right. And what exactly are you trying to investigate for? Because it's more of a targeted searching for
Yeah.
something.
I am investigating for any damage similar to what I saw before, so
Okay.
that since we've already fixed that, if we see similar damage, we'll know how to fix it down here.
Absolutely. And Xenogoras, did you make a roll there as well?
Yeah, but I'm going to leave Tilda and Harmony to take care of things, and I'm gonna just keep scanning for Thwirrels with my thermal sight because I got a 13.
Okay.
They
all
did
right.
much better than me.
Broodymon. Oh, sorry.
No. Go
I was
for
just
it.
saying, Broodymon Band got a 23, but yeah,
Oh,
he's
well.
he's looking for revenge.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
I'm
Ben, you
investigating for revenge.
It was perception. He is perceiving
Okay,
someone.
okay.
Perceiving for
He's perceiving
All right.
Perceiving
something or
revenge.
someone to take out his anger and his broodiness on.
I love it.
He woke up happy because he like infected a planet, and now he is grumpy. Now you're seeing grumpy Mon Band. That was
I
happy
love it.
Mon
You
Band
okay?
before.
Yes.
You okay, my bed? You seem a little. You can't frown, but
He just looks at you.
I'm gonna turn red. Be like, you look a little.
I am peeved at these creatures. They've risen my ire.
Yeah, I don't like them either. So, we should fix the ship and then exterminate their whole species.
Okay.
Now this is a plan I can get on.
Yeah.
Tilde, as you are searching for damage similar to this, while it takes a little bit of time because you are looking through the dark, having to work with limited ability to see in here, you are able to find. There appears to be, in the actual reactor itself, it looks like a massive bite was taken out of it. This is something that might require more than a little bit of rewiring in order to fix. And at the same time,
It's my noodly head coming back out like,
Oh, guys, same thing but worse.
You also notice that there appears to be a severed connection between where you know that backup battery to be, which is what's kept it from hitting the ship that has also had a bite taken out of it. At this moment, I do want to let everyone know that we have unlocked the giveaway for the Dark Matter hard copy, something like this, and we've also unlocked the giveaway for the D&D Beyond source book bundle. So please, in order to enter into these giveaways, you are going to want to enter in #Beyond or #DarkMatter in Twitch chat in order to be entered to win, and we will let you know who wins that in a little bit. So that being said, we're going to hop back into the game with those perception checks as Tilde has been identifying this damage here.
I'm just reporting it all back to them.
Those of you with thermal sight are able to notify the others and notice that there is a couple of smaller heat signatures. You can't make out where exactly they are due to the depth in this room. It's kind of a large room, but you can tell that there are small creatures moving around in here. You spot a handful, 3 or 4. And then it is Harmony and Monban who notice that there's actually, you hear it first. You hear there's a large shifting sound coming from a little bit higher up in the room. And here, as the lights are out, suddenly I need everyone to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Boy.
Whew.
24 for Xenogoras.
Okay. I'm just going to tell you right now that the DC is 13, so just let me know whether you succeed or fail. I need a second to roll damage. I'm sorry, okay? I didn't want to make the stat block too challenging.
I failed bad.
Okay.
The rogue, of course.
Mom
Of
Bam
course.
succeeds.
Harmony fails.
Okay.
Oh, and evasion is 7th level or 9th level? Do you have evasion, Tilda, or not yet? No.
Ooh.
Uh,
But I think for evasion, you have to see the source of the attack anyway. So.
Oh,
true,
that
too.
maybe. Yeah, that's true. That's
Um,
true.
quick
Uh,
question.
My
This-
saving throw is great. My roll was garbage.
Right.
So, if you beat the 13 DC, you will take 13 points of lightning damage. If you failed, you're going to take 27 points of lightning damage as electric lightning energy emerges out of the darkness from above you up in the room as you realize that this sound that you're hearing, this shifting of a large thing, seems to be a flying creature, a large creature, as you see in the light emitting from this attack. This is a breath weapon, as you can just briefly notice the silhouette of a large draconic figure flapping its wings.
No.
Thank you so much, chat, for letting me release the Thwirrel dragon.
So I saw nothing as I was thrown from my spot and I am now down.
Oh, no.
Cool.
Well-
To heal.
What was that number
Chat!
again?
It was 27 for full damage or 13 for half damage. I would say that a player revive would also work as a full heal,
It
even if
sure
you're
would.
even if you're not quite unconscious yet. Okay,
Yeah, I'm unconscious.
but like incapacitated, you still got death saving throws to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the worst, most Monban thing ever.
Oh, no. Monban.
He sees Tildy. He sees Tildy goes down from this electric shock and
Yeah,
casts Death Ward on himself.
Yes, I'm
It's
so
like,
here for it.
yeah,
Okay.
100% casts Death Ward on himself because
Just the shakiest like jello thumbs up like
Yes.
Roll initiative for me, please.
I still roll, right?
I'm gonna have you roll so that we know where you are in the initiative order. When
I've never been down when initiative started.
fair. Hopefully that's not something that anyone makes a habit out of. It is not something I would recommend. All right.
So that is 18 for me.
All right.
12.
All right.
9 from Monban.
Oh, I'm not last. I got a 10.
Oh,
Hey, all right. All right, and that means Tilde, you will be first. So I'm gonna have you make a death saving throw for me.
All right. I should have kept that nat 20. I'm gonna use my reroll.
Okay, please do.
Oh my god, 17.
That is
nice.
a success. Mark 1 success.
Thank God.
All right, and that will bring us then to Harmony. What would you like to do? I will note that in the darkness, you're able to see where it is. And although it's a little bit hard to make out what exactly is going on, your thermal sight does let you see it.
Okay.
Although it is dark, so you may have a hard time figuring out certain things.
Yeah, I am going to I'm going to shift into turret configuration.
Okay, go for it.
And actually, no, I'm not going to shift into turret configuration because she's been on this ship long enough to have had a weird little friend bond with Tilde. So she's actually going to move over to Tilde, and she's going to cast Cure Wounds at 3rd level.
Excellent.
Yes, take care of that.
And that is 20. You heal for 20.
Oh, thank God.
Awesome. That will bring
I'll
you back up.
shakily get up like.
You are conscious.
Thank you.
I got you, friend.
Excellent. Yes. So we did just get a donation from chat. That means that everyone's going to heal up to full health.
Oh, thank God.
And as you get a long rest. So you just zap long rest. So you get
Nice.
spell slots back. You'll get once per day effects back. All that is good to go. So yeah, lots of good things. You are fully charged up for this combat here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
yes.
Got my level 4s back.
Should we let Harmony rethink her turn since we just got that?
If you would like to do something else with your action, I would be totally fine with that, since that came in as you were choosing to heal somebody.
Oh, I guess you're okay. Turret form.
Excellent.
And I'm gonna use one of my nat 20s on the thing, which would be then a 27.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna hit.
And my d10s. And that's twice. Oh, I have to do this twice. Right. Is the second one gonna hit? Probably not. Well, maybe 16.
It's just going to miss, unfortunately.
Okay, so we've got the one attack. That's okay.
Mhm.
And that's 2d10. $17.
Ooh, very nice. Okay.
Sorry, I just saw a Thwakened in our
Thwakened.
Thwirrel
backstage
form?
chat and I lost it.
Yes, Thwirrel form. Delightful.
Were it.
Okay. Yeah, so you transform back into gun mode, and you fire, and you hit the dragon with one strike, and you hear it kind of roar out with a little bit of a chittering sound, and as kind of an undertone in that cry, and that is going to bring us to Xenogoras. That is your turn. And I need to roll additional initiative.
Oh boy. So feeling rested and ready for, well, what Xenogorath currently thinks is the big daddy of Thwirrel threats, Dina goes ahead and activates a still in beta subroutine that we are testing out in our experimental frame. And there's sort of all these pops of lightning, and you can hear Xenogorath sort of, ooh, not so hard, ow. And my seeing the threats, my frame is going to give me temp hit points at the start of each of my turns, because things is scary.
Nice.
And then I realized that my Invisibomb has recharged, so I sort of say, shall we try and a sneak attack like Tilda does? And I will find a good place to toss the bomb to turn the four of us invisible, and preferably not the Thwirrel dragon.
I think you would be able to do that to get everyone in the party invisible, and even some of the engineers who are now suddenly hiding and cowering here in the darkness, not able to see what it is that is threatening them, but seeing the massive lightning breath attack.
So I'll call out to the mechanics that are hiding, once they're, or as I'm tossing it, that they're gonna be invisible and for them to run.
Excellent. Anything else?
No, I think that'll do it. I have so many thoughts about that other thing that you rolled initiative for, but Xenagorus doesn't know about it yet. So
All right.
carry on.
Monban, what would we like to do?
Well, I have a question.
Okay.
So that breath weapon,
Yes.
did it hit any of the engineers? Are there any of dead engineers around?
I am going to say that's a good question. Actually, let me make some some dexterity saving throws. They do not seem to be dead as of right now, but hurting.
Okay. That makes Monban have an even worse decision to make.
Oh no, what have I done?
Dude, you let me into your game. That was mistake one. Okay.
I'm
That was
here for it.
That was the original sin.
Yeah, let's just start off where it was. Okay, so well, I think let's go ahead and get this was working well before, and because we have a lovely chat and generous chat, I am going to go ahead. I'm invisible though. Ooh, and I can get advantage if I do something different because it's any spell, right? It's not just an attack spell, it's any spell.
Any spell, any attack.
Okay. So, well, in that case, I've got to go do something horrible.
Oh, I inadvertently saved the engineers. How nice.
You really did. He is flying.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yes, in the air, about 20 feet.
My jetpack has been attacked twice. Is it functional or?
It is functional at this point, yes.
Okay. I would like to fly up to said to our lovely friend, who is again at this point the target of my ire and to get revenge, and invisible will fly up sort of behind him, and I was like, do I roll it? I think I'm going to roll it. I could just nat 20 it, but I think I want to roll this since I
do it. Yeah.
So 17 plus 7. I was at the first roll. Let's see if I get a nat 20. So 24, I assume, would hit.
Yes, that will hit.
Okay. And then the other one was not a nat 20, so we'll take that. And I am going to cast Inflict Wounds at 4th level. So I am going to use the roller to do that because that's 60-10.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I am going to roll it because I've got them right here. I actually pulled them out. I pulled out 60-10 just in case.
May as well. Dice are kind of pretty.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Some of them are. Okay, so 5 and 5 is 10, 19, 25, 32. Good 35 points of necrotic damage as he sort of sneaks up. And I actually, this is 100% of whether you allow things like this to happen. I think he would grab onto one of the wings and try to literally desiccate one of the wings. It offends him for things with wings that are still able to fly when he has been reduced to something as technological as a jetpack, to try to ground, to have him at least begin to not be able to fly as well. If I could try to basically desiccate and that one of his wings.
I think you can absolutely target all of that necrotic energy out of one of the wings, causing, while the one is flapping strong, the other one to kind of flutter and falter as the dragon will plummet down to the ground as you are bleeding this energy from it.
He rides it all the way down.
Quite successfully, of course.
Yeah, cackling that horrible sort of dying chicken cackle.
Excellent. You are no longer invisible, but you have just grounded the dragon. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
That is his action. So here's a question for you. So here was my home brewing.
Okay.
Normally, an Aven Ra will be able to cast Bless only on themselves, but it uses no components or spell slots. So
Mhm.
basically a cantrip.
Yeah.
How I did this was, instead of it be Blessing of the Sun, would be Curse of the Void, which would
Right,
be something that I can only cast on something that's already attacked me, which it has with its breath weapon.
Yeah.
And if it would count as a cantrip, I would like to use my Curse of the Void on this to give it Bane as my oh, it's not a bonus action. Never mind. I can't do that.
Okay.
Sorry. It's 2
Okay.
actions. Sorry. I was thinking I was going to do it with spiritual weapon, and never mind.
We'll come back to that in the future.
Yes. When I cast spiritual weapon, I won't have to explain that all again.
Excellent. I already know what you want to do, and I'll just thumbs up. You can do it. So we'll get to that when we get to that. Awesome. That brings us to the Thwirrel Dragon, which you have just grounded. And as such, it is rather displeased.
I'm the only thing it can see.
You are the only thing it can see. I need to roll a die very quickly.
Oh, man. Well,
it is going to kind of turn and rotate and pivot and attempt to take a bite attack towards you.
Mom Band looks it in the eye and sort of does that weird Jurassic Park thing with his sort of oily necrotic, like kind of hisses at it and cackles.
Okay. That is a 19 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay. You are going to take 10 points of piercing damage and 1 point of lightning damage.
Okay.
And then it's also going to make a claw attack against you. And I think that is going to probably miss with a 13.
Yep.
Okay. Then that is its turn for now. And that will bring us back to the top of initiative with Tilde.
Okay. So is there a decent 15-foot area around the dragon where nobody else is?
Well, I mean, Lone Band is technically in melee range with the dragon. So you might hit Monban. Other than that, it seems safe. You're not exactly
Might be okay.
certain. You're not exactly certain where your other invisible party members or the engineers are, but you seem to recall that they were not exactly where the dragon is.
So I am going to, because it's 15 feet from me, so I'm going to run behind the dragon to where the dragon is in my 15-foot range, but not Momban. And I am going to cast Thunder Wave at 2nd level.
Okay. All right. That's what is it? A Constitution save?
Yes.
I think it's going to succeed. Yes, that will succeed probably with a 22.
Okay. And let me see what happens when you... Okay, so on a fail, that on a success, okay, you'll take half as much damage.
Okay.
So that is... And do I get sneak attack since I came up behind it?
Yes, and because Monban is engaged with it, I'm gonna let that be a thing because you're an arcane trickster, and that makes sense to me.
Okay, so that got halved, and let me add this. 24 points of lightning damage.
Of lightning damage.
I believe
Not
so.
thunder damage or
Sorry,
force
thunder.
damage?
Thunder.
Okay. I was like, hold up, wait a minute.
Brain.
Okay.
Brain. The coffee that was stealthily delivered to me is kicking in.
And that's 24 before half? Before...
Yeah, no. It was, that's after halved.
Oh, that was 48. Okay, heck yeah. Okay, all right. I dig it. Okay. Okay, I can do math in my head. There we go. All right. Excellent. Wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
I would then like to. About how much movement did I use to get behind it?
Let's say in order to move around it, it would have been 20 some odd feet.
Okay, then I'm gonna back up 10 feet and see if I can sort of like hide a little bit behind something in this room.
Okay, it will get an attack of opportunity against you if you do this.
Okay, never mind then.
Okay. All right. In that case, that brings us to someone new in initiative. There is a this strange cracking sound as those of you who can see in the darkness or see with thermal sight see that the reactor itself explodes as tentacles explode out of it, reaching out into the room. And you can't quite make out the exact nature of this form. It is eldritch and awful, but it is Thwirrel. Working on that. I'm working on it. Cthulhu. And it is going to make some attacks. Let's see what it does. It is going to make 2 attacks at, I would say that there's 2 people that it knows where they are is Tilde and Monban. So that's what we're going to do.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So the attack against Monban is going to be a big number to hit, 27.
Oh, yeah, that'll hit.
Okay. And that is going to be 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Can you make a dexterity saving throw, or you'll be grappled?
Okay.
15
plus dexterity.
Yes.
17.
Okay. All right. You are able to just barely wriggle out of the grasp of this tentacle. That is the DC. And that is going to be a 16 to hit you, Tilde.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. And if you can give me a dexterity saving throw, that is...
I'm gonna use my other nat 20.
Okay, that is
I'm very
14,
scared.
14 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And you automatically succeed in escaping the clutches of this tentacle as it just kind of whacks you. And that is Cthulhu's turn.
For real quick, for my future turn, would that count as me having touched him?
Yes, you have come in physical contact with Thwirrel.
Okay.
So Monban reaches inside to this weird idol he took out of sick bay.
Yep.
Protectively, and looks at Thwirrel in the eye and goes, "You got here sooner than I expected."
Interesting. Okay. All right, I'm here for it. Harmony, what would you like to do?
Okay. How big is the room that we're in?
Oh, this is a pretty large room. I mean, it's probably like 40 feet wide by 50 feet deep, probably by like 50 to 60 feet high. There's like catwalks up on the sides. There's all kinds of mechanical inner workings in here. This is the room where the reactor is, and there's a lot of electrical equipment throughout it.
Okay. And the proximity between the Swirl Dragon and Cthulhu?
Yes. So Cthulhu is literally emerged out of the reactor. So this is the centerpiece of the room. Where Tilde was before moving to get to the dragon. The dragon is about 20 or so feet away from Cthulhu.
Okay. And just because it's been an exceptionally long time since I have faced a dragon in any game, do they actually breathe to use their breath weapons?
I'm gonna say yes.
Cool.
I'm gonna say yes.
Cool. Then I'm gonna create a vacuum centered on the dragon so it can't breathe at us anymore.
Excellent.
And if it
That
does,
is
it risks
clever.
suffocation.
That is clever. Excellent. It doesn't roll to save or anything against that. It just happens. Hell yeah. Okay. Awesome. I will note that for the time being, Monban, you are also in that radius. Not that it affects you. And
Whatever.
We don't need to breathe.
until then, you are also in that radius, but you also don't need to breathe. Hopefully, there are no engineers. Anyways, anything else you'd like to do?
I don't think anything else that I would want to do. I don't think I am able to do because I just cast a spell. So
Okay.
I will
Fair enough.
sit tight.
Xenogoras.
So Xenogor's already had his rocket fist lined up at the dragon, and the appearance of the Cthulhu, oh gods, was surprising, and so I think the rocket fist is gonna go ahead and go off at the dragon.
Okay.
So let's see how that goes. Oh yeah, 25 to hit
That is definitely going to hit.
for 14 bludgeoning.
Ooh, very nice. Okay.
And then, startled, the other hand blaster is going to turn to the Cthulhu, and I'm going to use one of my natural 20s on that.
Excellent.
Do a fireball out of my blaster. There's, well, 2 6s and 2 1s, so that's something. 12, 13, 14, 24, 28, 30, 35, 38 radiant damage to the Cthulhu.
Ooh. Okay. All right.
And just sort of as Xenogoras pops back into view, the last of the 4 of us to negate the Invisibomb, just 2 arms sort of out, and you can just see through the visor with all of the Neptune. Which pantheon is this? I don't remember. Whatever. With all the liquid from his planet there, just sort of eyes and nothing else moves. What is it? Is it Poseidon solution or is it Neptune solution? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's fine. Whatever it is.
It's one of the sea gods. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
I read through this very quickly before. building
Neptunium.
Xenogoras.
I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
It's fine. Okay. Awesome. You deal a good bit of damage to Cthulhu. Is there anything else on your turn?
Oh, just stepping back a bit again.
Rightly so. That's
I think
terrifying
Dina maybe
sight.
takes control of the legs of my suit and walks me backwards.
Okay. Monban.
Monban looks at Thwirrel and goes, "This is premature of when I thought we would meet, but no time like the present. And I would like to channel divinity and shape the void. And you see as Monban's body all but like elongates. If you've ever watched like a peregrine falcon go into a stroop where like their wings go back, and he leaps forward, folding back his wings, claws forward, beak forward, to turn himself into a void javelin. And I would
Okay.
like to use my nat 20 on this. As he forms the void around himself and basically throws himself at the heart of Thwirrel, whatever.
Excellent.
The big eldritch, the eldritch horror. So I will be rolling 8d12 worth of damage.
Hell yeah.
Wait, you will heal for 4. Yep. 8d12.
Yeah. Do it.
And I'm using the big roller for this because I don't have that many die. and it's rolling. It's doing that D&D Beyond thing, and
D&D Beyond.
for 73 points of necrotic damage. Man, that was an awesome roll. 7, 12, 8, 8, 9. Yeah.
73?
73 points of void damage. And it just doesn't say the actual type of damage, but it says void stuff into a crackling spear of energy, which you hurl towards any creature within 60 feet. And he hurled himself, so yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Great.
And you just hear that. Now it's like all this manic cackling with this crackling void energy as it goes piercing through, and Monban emerges out the other side. Jetpack's still working, yeah? So he's sort of now floating with his wings spread as though he could actually fly with these necrotic, dripping, sort of oily, dark void wings.
Okay.
Thank you for the nat 20.
Yeah.
I get to do that like once a day.
Nice. As a reaction, Cthulhu is going to use its legendary action to make one tentacle attack against you.
Yeah.
Because that is very frustrating for it. That is a 21 to hit.
That'll hit.
And that is going to be 13 points of bludgeoning damage. Can you give me a dexterity saving throw?
Yep. He's still up, and come on, Monban, be a badass. 13 plus 2 is a 15.
It is just able to grapple you, frustrated at how you have just hurt it so much.
The Channel Divinity is an action, but it's not really a spell, right?
No, it would not be a spell.
So I will go ahead, and as he grabs onto me, you see sort of emerge behind me as I cast Spiritual Weapon. You see this huge scythe. How do you say it? What death carries?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big old scythe. Big
Big
scary
old-
thing. Blade on a
Big,
stick.
scary, necrotic energy
Yeah.
scythe as I cast it at 4th level, because damn, why not?
May as well.
Thank you for that long rest. And I'm going to roll. It gets an attack on summon.
Okay, yeah.
try
Make
to-
that attack.
So, that's a 19 plus 7. So 26.
That'll hit.
And that is 2d8 plus 4. 10, 14 for 14 points of, again, of course, necrotic damage.
Yeah. All right. As the scythe slashes into it, you are able to deal some additional damage, but it remains.
At this point, Momban's all in. He's got Death Ward, and he's all in.
You do
Tackling
hear
like a maniac chicken.
You do hear telepathically this loud scream of anguish in your head. Not enough to cause you to need to roll anything, but it hurts immensely. This psychic pain in the back of your head. And that will bring us to the Thwirrel Dragon, who is on the ground, rolling around. And I would say, since Tilde is in melee range, it is going to go to make attacks against you, because you're the only one in melee range.
If there's a vacuum of breath and he needs to breathe as a organic life form, would that not do damage to him?
It is holding its breath for the time being.
Okay.
Should anything cause it to, exhale or something like that, then it would start suffocating. Yes. So that is going to be a 19 to hit on the first attack.
And I'm gonna reform around whatever he's about to do.
All right. That's a bite attack. That is only 6 points of piercing damage, but there are an additional 5 lightning damage attached.
So 11.
But you could roll a d4 to negate that much of the piercing damage.
Yes.
And then it is going to make 1 claw attack at you as well. It's going to hit.
This is so much math.
I'm sorry.
No, I love it.
And that is going to be 12 points of slashing damage as the claw strikes you.
Okay.
And that is the Thwirrel Dragon's turn, bringing us back to the top of initiative to you, Tilde.
All right. So since the Cthulhu touched me, I am going to use my action for flexible form, and I'm going to take the shape of Cthulhu, which also gives me its language and speeds.
Yeah, yes, you are
And-
able to do that, yes.
So I'm going to persuade it. I'm gonna try.
Hey, if you could really leave us alone, that'd be great. I would very much like to live today, and I don't want to offend you, old great one.
And
You
I should probably
all-
roll for that persuasion.
Yeah, give me a persuasion check.
We just got nat 20s, so I'm gonna use my nat 20 on that persuasion.
Fair. What's the total on that?
So that would be a 26.
Okay.
I very much want to live today. Don't want anything to happen to anybody. If you could please, away.
It you have this there's this moment, this very suspenseful pause before you all hear telepathically this deep voice. And what do you offer me?
That.
And I'm gonna point to the dragon.
This
He looks
and I,
real tasty.
This and I are summoned by the same thing. We are not at odds.
But if you
What
eat
will
him,
you
then maybe
do?
you look cooler to the boss.
Oh, I am the boss.
Then eat him because he sucks.
Whether or not I eat him makes no difference as to my intention to eat you. Convince
That's
me that I
very
should
fair.
not.
That's fair. You know what? Entirely fair. I just want to survive, if that's all right with you. Me and my friends. What do you need? Oh, great one.
I require the ship and the souls of everyone aboard it.
That doesn't
in
work for me.
service.
That doesn't work for me. I'm sorry. Okay. I hope you like creepy birds.
And and I'm just gonna back up.
Okay, fair. Is there anything else you would like to do?
Talking's a free action.
It is. I will remind you that if you back away, the dragon will get an attack of opportunity.
Oh no, that was like emotional back away.
Okay. An emotional disengage.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then, if that's gonna happen, then I guess for my action, because I just tried to talk him down from everything.
Yep.
I'm going to pull out a chip of mica, from my form, and I am going to throw it on the ground towards him and cast Shatter at 2nd level.
Okay. It's a dex save, right? Or is that con save?
Con save.
Okay. Whew, y'all lucky. I rolled a 10.
Okay,
Let's go
so
fail.
and since that is at 2nd level, that is 48.
Mm-hmm. Give me some damage.
And he's organic material, right?
Yes.
Okay.
A
Oh.
writhing mass of flesh and tentacle and mouth.
Okay. So that is going to be 26.
Okay. Describe to me what it looks like as your shatter pierces deeply into the core of Cthulhu, and you will hear this agonizing screech as it retracts into the reactor, defeated. Describe this to me, though. What are we hearing? What is the flavor to this attack?
So as I throw down the mica and it shatters, it's almost, for everyone not in its range, it's just the worst tinnitus post-bomb noise. But for him, it's ringing like glass being shook in a bottle, to the point of deafening.
That is just what does it. As Cthulhu returns to the void from whence it came, so to speak. Metaphorically. Maybe. And with that, it is not Cthulhu's turn. Harmony, what would you like to do?
I believe at this point I have 2 nat 20s remaining, and I have 2 attacks that I can take with my turret, which I would like to do against the dragon.
Okay, go for it. Give me damage.
Alrighty. I'm just gonna roll all the dice at once if that's okay.
Go for it, yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8.
And all that was left was a fine red mist.
Oh, I rolled the wrong dice. I'm like, those numbers seem way too high. That's not normal. 10, 20, 28, 36,
It's just
40,
beautiful hearing these
50.
numbers.
How would you like to absolute blast the life out of this Thwirrel dragon?
Okay. You kind of hear from the turret. You heard my friends and my ship. This will not be tolerated. And the cannon charges up, and the 2 blasts slam into the Thwirrel dragon, and it kind of like shakes and glows and explodes, hopefully.
Yes.
Into,
It
sparks.
does, as you channel so much of this radiant energy in from the blaster that causes the electrical circuits in it to overload, and it does in fact explode. As this happens, somewhat conveniently, and also in the interest of time, the power returns. It seems as though these creatures here in the presence of the reactor are what had caused it to go down. There may be some cables that need to be repaired and some random Thwirrels that need to be gathered up, but you have successfully defeated the most cute eldritch being and dragon ever. Excellent. Well done. I think we're going to draw those giveaways here in just a moment. But before we do that, let's go ahead and go around really quickly and just, I think let's do, if you'd like to have a moment of epilogue, perhaps a lesson that your character has learned, or some next step for your character, and then tell us who you are and where we can find you, because this has been an absolute delight playing with y'all. And let's go ahead and go reverse order from what we did earlier. So let's start with Harmony.
So Harmony is going to strike up a series of existential conversations with the reactor over the next few weeks, and the experience of having these crazy creatures manifesting from the center of it. And I am MeldicBlue. You can find me here on Twitch and Twitter at MeldicBlue. You can also find me on Instagram at Melodic_Blue.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Yeah, please remember right now as we're about to pull those giveaways, be sure to use hashtag Beyond and hashtag Dark Matter, I believe, are the 2 codes in order to be entered. It's hashtag Beyond and hashtag Dark Matter. No spaces in Dark Matter. So you can be entered. Monban.
Momban learned that he really hasn't been pushing himself hard enough, and he really needs to try harder to spread more void darkness throughout the universe. As the Eldritch being was sent back and was disappearing, he did take his sacrificial dagger and take a chunk out of its tentacle. And later that night in his room, he sort of merged it back into that heart-shaped idol that he took from the med bay that he had hidden there earlier to gather strife and pain and sickness, and just smiles gleefully to himself, ready for his next adventure. I am Tallsquall. I am like a nice guy, not like Monban at all. But boy, did I ever have fun playing him, and I hope to like bring him back to this universe again soon, because wow, what fun. Thank you everyone for all the donations. It goes to a great cause, and it would not have been nearly as fun without them, so thank you.
Yeah, and Tilde.
So Tilde went back to hang out with Xenogoras and take all of the cloaking device pieces out of themselves and work on studying them on how to replicate this technology into something wearable for the party. And so I have been Ellie Collins. I am the storyteller for ATL by Night, a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition live stream. We're available everywhere. Thank you guys so much for donating. This was an absolutely amazing first game. This is my first time with Dark Matter, so this was super amazing. Thank you.
Xenogoras.
Xenogoras takes the cloaking device that Tilda saved, and it takes him way longer than it should because he keeps accidentally activating it and losing track of it as he's trying to modify it for Tilda, but eventually he's able to get that working for her and goes back to practicing his languages. Mi chiamo Xenogoras. Watashi no namae wa Xenogoras desu. And that's where we leave him. I am Eugenio. On the internet, you can find me at DMJazzyHands on Twitter. And I've had such a blast today. Thank you all. There's so much more of this. You all have been amazingly generous in chat, and there's so much more going on today. So hang out here for more awesome shows. And then if you want more sci-fi tonight, you can come hang out with me over on Cypher of Tears channel for Into the Motherlands for some more sci-fi action once things have wrapped up around here. But thank you all. This has been a blast.
Wonderful. I've played everyone else. My name is Josh, and you can find me on the internet at Joshua M. Simons across all social media platforms. I'm a freelance tabletop game designer and a variety streamer here. If you want to see more of me on stream, the best place to do that for D&D stuff is right here on this very channel on Fridays, where we play a game using the Islands of Sina Una supplement called Tampo. We play it every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and that is just a blast as I play the biggest himbo I've ever played. So yeah, with that being said, thank you all so much for being here. I've got some giveaway winners to announce. The winner of the D&D Beyond Sourcebook bundle is Zach Samili. Congratulations. And the winner of the Dark Matter physical book is RoboGoblin. Congrats. I think you're going to love it. We've got all this great stuff. Thank you so much. We have another game coming up real soon at 12:30. I'm bad at time, but so we gotta go so that they can get in and get ready. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you for donating. This is all for such a great cause for the kids, and especially right now with the state of the world and the pandemic, it's extra important to do what we can to help make sure that these kids who are in need of this necessary treatment are able to get the best care possible. So thank you so much, and y'all have a great rest of your day. Stick around for more awesome content.